What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I'm really excited because once a year, this terrific festival takes place, and it's the Conscious Life Expo. Every year, we're there, and we're actually going to be there broadcasting Awakening World shows from there. And so tonight is our annual preview show. We're going to kind of give you a preview of what's going to be happening at the Conscious Life Expo and meet some of the most dynamic presenters who are going to be at the Expo. And I'm really excited because I have my co-host once again. She was with us last year. Brandy Weld will be co-hosting and introducing presenters. And she'll be introducing people like Andrea Ramos. And we're also going to get to meet Wendy. And we have Dr. Clint Rogers with us when he turns on his camera, and Ismail Rez is with us. And we also have a pre-record with Elizabeth April and with Billy Carson. And the co-founder of the Global Peace Tribe, Deborah Giusti, the one who started everything with me 6 years ago, she'll be with us. And there's Clint, he's got his camera on now. We also will be hearing from Desiree and DR, who will lead some prayer. And as always, we start the show with music. And our house musical artist, the one and only Omashar. Take it away, brother.
Yes, that would be me. And welcome, namaste, everybody. Welcome to all our Facebook and YouTube and streaming partners. So grateful to be with you tonight. And as we know, freedom comes with letting go. And so let's go. Let's let this person in. And all right.
The open roads of this brand new start, the peace that flows through this loving heart, 'cause freedom comes with letting go. Life renewed, new seeds to sow. Take my hand, I'm with you now. Relax yourself, your furrowed brow. past has gone, so say hello. No looking back, onward we go. This is the life awaiting us, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. New mountain peaks for us to climb, new roads to walk, no reason why. It's time to know that we are one, with all of life, the central sun. This is the life awaiting us, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. Cause freedom comes with letting go. This life renewed, new seeds to sow.
Welcome, everybody, and let's send love and hearts and twinkles to our beloved Omashar, who is truly an Omastar.
Especially the twinkles. I like the twinkles. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And there'll be more twinkles coming to Omashar, as he will be providing at least 2 more musical offerings. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Well, if you want to know about conferences, festivals, the person in the know is Deborah Giusti. She ran our favorite festival of all time, the Harmony Festival. She created it, ran it for over 30 years. And then when she retired from that, she still stayed super connected to all the different events going on and has created an amazing transformational guide to festivals and expos and shows. She's also one of those people, you know, there's a lot of talk about cloning. I sometimes wonder if Deborah is cloned, because any festival or expo I go to, she's always there. So she's in the know about these things. So who better to tell us all about the Conscious Life Expo than our co-founder of the Global Peace Tribe, the one and only Deborah Giusti. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And hello, everyone. Good to see you again. And yes, I definitely want to come on this show and support Conscious Life Expo. I just love it. I think I'm one of the biggest fans. I've actually been there from the beginning. Conscious Life Expo has been going on for 24 years. Takes place in Los Angeles. It's coming up February 20th, 23rd, 2026. Takes place at the LA Hilton, right near the airport. So no excuse not to be there because you can fly in and just get right over to it. And really, it is the best conference of its kind available today. Just amazing. I call it our modern mystery school because it really has the most cutting edge evolutionary information from speakers and workshops and panels and all of that that's available today. And it always stays on the cutting edge, bringing in the new information year by year. And it's got exhibits where you can buy products, all kinds of incredible jewelry, books, and you really it's a whole spiritual journey to go down there. To go down there and really see what adventure you're going to go on, what speakers you're going to connect with. They have the top speakers of these times, really, and all levels of evolution, whether it's disclosure or healing, spirituality, everything. The top speakers are there. And the other thing that's great about it is your soul tribe is there. So you're not going to feel strange when you talk about all the things that you love in terms of your spirituality and what is really important to you. You're going to be with like-minded people. So the vibration of the expo is really high because everyone's there in really high consciousness and seeking and love. So much love there, so much connection. And they have everything. They have an amazing production team with the founder, Robert, who's been at it the whole time. He hung in there during COVID. A lot of these festivals didn't, continue after COVID. He hung in there, his team pulled together, and every year it just goes up and up. I'm going to share with you a little bit about it. You can see it firsthand. I'm there. I need sharing turned on.
It's on.
Great. Here's the expo here, just beautiful. And I just want to say the speakers, it's also fun, all kinds of creative things, seance, astrology, disclosure lunch. They have a live play about ascension, so it's really fun as well as educational. The speakers are over the top. Bashar, Elizabeth April, Linda Moten Howell, Mateus De Stefano, Robert Edward Grant, Sarah Brexman, incredible speakers that are there. And all of these, you get them live, you get to see them, meet them, hear them, and then incredible lectures as well. A post-conference that will happen, and all kinds of lectures. It's phenomenal how much is there. This is the website, consciouslifeexpo.com. But I wanted to share with you that I'm really involved because I've been producing a panel there. Panels are over the top too. Healing frequency, the ET connection. These are the top speakers on all these panels. Secret technology, navigating the Great Awakening, George Norrie Forum, AI in the future of humanity, plant medicine. Here's my that I've been doing for 10 years, my panel, Ascension, because that's my passion. So Ascension is what I'm going to be doing. And this is happening Sunday, and you'll see I have all these incredible speakers, which I love because I get to do this panel with the top Ascension teachers. So we have really high level conversations. We're going to be talking about why Ascension is happening right now and what is happening in the world to progress it forward, and all the tools that you need to transmute your trauma, activate your light body and DNA, receive ascension codes. It's amazing. And then also, I'm going to be doing a lecture there. These are all the lectures. It's just such a smorgasbord of all kinds of things you would want to learn about and see. My lecture is going to be on healing cancer and the ascension. So as a lot of you know, I have been dealing with breast cancer. They gave me a diagnosis of a double mastectomy for stage 0 in my left breast and stage 1 in my right. And I thought, I don't think so. That doesn't sound right. But that's what traditional medicine does. And I'll share a little bit about that because my lecture is going to be sharing how the ascension and critical disease like this, or any curveball that comes into your life, is part of the ascension. And if you brace it that way, the ascension is accepting every single thing in your life, even when you have cancer, because what it does, it takes you on a path of complete healing. And that's what it took me. At the lecture, I'm going to share with people how I've been healing my cancer. I've actually healed it 50% now. And that's because I didn't go for what the traditional medicine says, even though you have to listen to them at some point and they provide a lot, but you have to really go within and find the healer within and find your path. And from that, the first thing I did, honestly, is open up my receiving channels. Because as a woman, we give, give, give. We have families, we have businesses, and we give. And those are the breaths kind of over giving. And so the first thing I did was open up my receiving channels and start to receive. And I put it out on Facebook that I had cancer. A lot of people really respected that I was so vulnerable, and I shared. I got so much information, like 500 or more information about cancer. And from that, I really started to look at what is my healing path. The second thing that I want to recommend is really expanding your cancer healing team. And from what everyone shared with me, I got some holistic consultation and really saw that there's so much available now for healing cancer. And I also talked to so many people that had healed cancer. And so from that, I really understood what I needed to do to heal my cancer, as well as my professional holistic practitioners. Part of what I found out, and I'm going to be releasing the Healing Cancer and Prevention Guide, because there's so much information that people don't know about. And I have been taking on that I'm going to produce this guide and share with people, because it's the worst thing when you get cancer and all you hear from traditional is slice and dice and chemo. And there are other options, but you have to be smart about it. And one of the key things is I found out that my cancer is really connected with the toxins that were in my body. Toxins are such a big part of chronic disease now. We don't really get that information from traditional medicine. But I found out I had high mold, which causes cancer, and I had glyphosate, which is the Roundup, in my body because I live in Sonoma County. There's lots of orchards and all of that, and that causes cancer. And when I started to detox and get that out of my body, that was one way I got the healing to come through. Another thing I did was really get my crystal clear on my diet, like no sugar, not sneaking little sugar here and there, which I did before. No sugar. Sugar feeds cancer. No dairy, no wheat, eating mostly cruciferous vegetables and organic, and a little protein. And fasting is a really important key to healing. Also, there are all kinds of supplements and treatments and so much you can do with cancer. There's just so much available. And when you're on a healing path like that, emotional healing is key, because we're talking about a holistic healing. So really healing the imbalance in your emotions, deep trauma, shadow work, all of that, as well as spiritual healing. I got a spiritual healing from the Twin Ray. Many of you of the Global Peace Tribe know them because they're incredible spiritual teachers. When I went to them, I could feel this negativity on the side where my cancer was when I got this healing from them, or it can happen with a lot of spiritual teachers. That energy negativity left, and I found this healing here. So it's really a combination of things that you can work with, but really coming to your core of healing and declaring you're going to heal and allowing your higher self to open up the miracles, the guidance, the people, the information to come to you is really key. My spiritual guide that I dealt with, I asked her, what was one of the biggest things that I did that promoted the healing? And she looked at all the things and she kind of tested, and she can kind of give me percentages. And she said, the biggest thing that I did was get healing and prayers for my community. So I know a lot of people don't want to be so vulnerable and say they have healing, but if you really tell your family and friends they love you, and they will heal and pray for you. And she said that was 100% in terms of giving me the energy to heal. And that blew my mind, because I do have people coming to me saying, I saw you on Facebook and I'm praying for you every day. So, and we know that works, but here's just proof of that. So there's a lot I could share about my journey. That's why I'm going to be creating this cancer healing and prevention guide in a really simple platform, because things are too complicated these days and it's got to be simple. And it's the worst thing when people get the cancer diagnosis and they just don't know where to go or what to do, except for what traditional medicine says. And I just want to create some pathways to show you the top cancer healing doctors that are kind of sharing what's happening, and stories from other people that are healing. One of my friends had stage 4 breast cancer. She tuned in like I did, and she was supposed to fast. She went into the forest and fasted for 30 days and then felt it was complete. She came out and her cancer was gone. So I have these kind of stories that I'm going to share. This is someone in our community. There's lots of people that are healed. And cancer is the number 2 cause of death now. And I believe it's because of our toxic world. And so getting the toxins out is a big part of it. So I want to thank you all, and thank you for your support, because I came on Global Peace Tribe. I shared my GoFundMe when it first happened, and I got a lot of support from everyone. And that allowed me to do the research, get some alternative treatment, and move forward with everything. And now, if you'd like to support me again, I'm asking for support to do the cancer healing guide, because I can't do it all by myself. Otherwise, I'll burn out again. I want to hire some people that can do some AI work, get all my information together and put it in a really simple form. So you can still support me at supportdeborah.com. That's my GoFundMe. If you want to pay it forward to the Cancer Healing Guide, because I'm going to make it by donation or free, because when people get their cancer diagnosis, I mean, it's a challenge financially, and I want this information to be out freely to people. So if you'd like to support me creating that for you and pay it forward, it's supportdeborah.com. And you can learn more about me at deborahjuicy.com and all that I do, because I'm still out there creating so many things. Like Scott said, the Transformational Events Guide, which has all the festivals happening. But most important, check out Conscious Life Expo. If you're not in LA, it's a plane flight, real cheap to go down there and stay real comfortable at the Hilton. It's amazing. So thank you so much.
Deborah, thank you so much. And Deborah does so much for our community. So a reminder, again, if you go to supportdeborah.com, that then forwards to her GoFundMe. Or if you just go into GoFundMe and in the little search bar, write in Deborah Juicy, and it comes right up. And I want to thank so many of you. I see right off the bat, there's Jeffrey Colebrook, who's in the room with us right now. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions to Deborah.
Yes, thank you so much. And I just keep it moving forward.
She does. And then in terms of her website, just briefly, there it is. She is the goddess of creation. We had her on the show a few weeks ago talking about her new portal to transformational events. But if you haven't registered for it yet, do so now, because it's a great guide to all the events, including Conscious Life Expo. So thank you, Deborah, for getting us off to such a wonderful start.
Thank you. Much love.
Well, I'm really excited because I get to co-host once again with Brandy Weld, who has been just wonderful. And thank you, Brandy, for bringing in the presenters and all the extra PR and promotion you did. Scotty Satori pointed out that we've got 115 people on this YouTube channel watching. So that's more than usual. So thank you for all your efforts. And tell us a little bit about your relationship to the Expo.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to first thank Deborah for giving us all of the positive kudos for Conscious Life Expo and sharing all the wonderful things that are going to be happening there at Conscious Life Expo. You know, there's a lot of like all the lectures that she talked about, and there's a lot of workshops and a lot of other things that are free too. So, you know, even if you don't want to, you know, pay, you know, the big money for the platinum pass or things like that. We have lots of free content as well. But yes, I am one of the producers of Conscious Life Expo, bringing, you know, mostly a big draw speakers or big draw content kind of thing for for Conscious Life Expo. And that's the predominant thing I do. I will also be speaking there in the post-conference on doing a post-conference with Andrea, the nurse medium, Andrea Ramos, for healing your heart on both sides of the veil kind of thing. So that is what I do at Conscious Life Expo. Do you want me to talk a little more about Conscious Life Expo right now, or?
You know, since you're going to be introducing so many people tonight and all the support of other people, I want people to know about you. And actually, you can learn all about Brandy at her website, which is right here. And it's jumptoabetterlife.com. And so we're going to talk all about Conscious Life Expo all night long, but tell us a little bit about the work you do outside of the Expo.
Okay, yes. So what I do is I heal ancestral programming, childhood wounding, and return people back to their essence so they can create and experience life from that place instead. So that is a bit of what we'll be talking in the post-conference. I have added Andrea to some of that so that we can now heal on both sides of the veil. She is amazing at connecting us with our loved ones who have crossed over on the other side. So, you know, yeah, full circle, because I've always have felt like a lot of times if we don't add that part of where we have a medium to do some translation for us, if we aren't able to hear directly ourselves, and a lot of times, even if we are intuitive, it's harder for us, for even mediums to even hear from their own loved ones. If they have to normally use another medium to even hear their loved ones. Anyways, yeah, I find if that little missing piece, because you get to, you know, when somebody crosses over and you didn't get to say everything to them, or they didn't get to say everything to you, you feel stuck, and the person on the other side feels stuck because they have a greater awareness once they cross over, and they're like following you around trying to apologize and ask for your forgiveness and give you pieces of information, but you can't hear them, and yet they keep trying. And often you'll find that mediums experience that, you know, as soon as they can see somebody that can hear them, that is like connected to you, you know, in some way, then they're trying to get this message to them, to you. And so I think it's really powerful work.
Yeah. You know, I'm glad to know about your work with ancestral healing. We actually have done quite a few shows now that we understand that we're carrying the epigenetics going back so many generations. And I do believe a big part of kind of our soul group is really healing and managing the ancestral healing and the epigenetics. So next time we do a show on that topic, I'm going to call on you, Brandy.
Okay, please do.
Well, I think let's just let people know again that it's consciouslifeexpo.com. I'm going to put into the chat box where you can get discounted tickets. But for everybody watching, and I know we got a lot of people watching on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere, just go to consciouslifeexpo.com. Consciouslifeexpo.com. And there's so much information there. And as Deborah showed us, there's a tremendous number of speakers, presenters, panels, special events. And of course, everybody you're seeing tonight will be there in person. So definitely look us up, find us, and it's going to be very exciting. And I think, Brandy, I'll turn it back over to you to introduce our first presenter.
Okay. Well, thank you. So I already kind of mentioned her a little bit, but I'm very grateful to be able to introduce everybody here to a great, beautiful soul, Dr. Andrea Ramos. She's also known as the nurse medium. She is what many people call a unicorn because, she's not only a psychic medium, a medical intuitive, but she's also a trauma-informed mental health professional. She is a psychiatric mental health nurse. She does EMDR. She's also a functional doctor, and does a lot of work with people who have experienced trauma, including first responders, veterans, and survivors of human trafficking and sexual trauma, which it's been a lot in the news lately. There's a lot of that, unfortunately. So please welcome, Andrea.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be part of all of this and see so many familiar faces from last year's expo on here, as well as a lot of new ones too. So thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm so excited that Brandy and I actually met Brandy in Sedona serendipitously, and she kind of approached me too after I was doing a big gallery event there on Missing Soul that she was helping with the search efforts on, and we were able to kind of connect and in that sense. And then it just kind of all happened from there. And it's amazing. I want to touch base on what you had said too. A lot of the work I am kind of a unicorn, I guess you could say, in all of the things that I do. And I'm a woman of many hats, but one of the most incredible things that I can do for somebody is connect them to their loved ones that have crossed. We've all experienced that, I'm assuming on here. I should never assume, right? But it's so true that we take on these things, whether it's old soul contracts that we hang on to, and then we experience these things in this lifetime. And you can, have a detrimental relationship with somebody here on this earth plane and have a beautiful relationship with that same person from the other side. So a lot of the things that Brandy and I have put together for this amazing retreat that we're going to be holding in Sedona in August is healing both sides of the veil and doing just that. So as a trauma-informed specialist, I, work with a lot of, she said first responders, human traffic victims, couples, individuals, all sorts of things. But I looked at the whole picture. I've been a nurse and a trauma nurse for a very long time. I've done probably everything. And Deborah, you mentioned cancer. I ran an oncology unit, and it was actually one of the jobs that I disliked the most until I changed my mindset because I didn't love the whole chemotherapy and all of that. And that's what really, but it was such a blessing working in that field because it taught me to get to the root of things. And it's so true. What affects our mental affects our physical body on so many levels. And even when I'm doing mediumship, when spirit comes through, they show me how they passed. And that affects my physical body. But I also can understand the difference between what's happening within my own physical body and is the spirit sharing that. So I call it the pain body. There's many sheaths. Those of you that know, yoga and, and all these different levels of things, we have all these different sheaths and they affect my pain body. So like if somebody comes through and says, hey, you know what? I died in this car crash and I was pinned in the car, or, grandpa died of a heart attack. They're going to tell me a lot of times either their name or who they are in relation to you, whether it's the maternal side or the paternal side. And they're going to show that by affecting my pain body. So I'll feel a hit to my heart. A lot of times lately, it's always evolving, right? But they'll the other day I was reading for somebody, and it was a big family here at my studio here in Bonita Springs, Florida. And I know it doesn't look like I'm from Florida. I'm wearing, it's cold to me. I think it says on my car, it says 67 degrees, and I'm like, it's winter, yay. But anyway, I was doing this reading and somebody hit my head, and I felt a bullet go through my head, one side out the other. And I had explained to them, I said there was a young boy and this had happened, and they just kind of all looked at me in awe, like, what the heck? And I told them to stop, because I was like, okay, we figured out how you passed, like, let's move forward. But he was really, he had suffered with addiction. And his biggest message to his mother, who was there, was how sorry he was, and all the things that I didn't know in the moment, that the same woman had been suffering with addiction. And one of the biggest fears for her was that she thought she stopped that in this family. And she was able to get that message from her son that he's now helping her continue that. And part of his journey of stopping and breaking that cycle was him having to pass. And so far, so good, knock on wood, nobody in that family has suffered from addiction since. But those are some heavy messages that we have to handle. And that can be very, that too can be detrimental to someone. So, it's an interesting dynamic for sure. And I'm also working on a couple really neat projects. And Brandy, I didn't even get to tell you about this, I don't think. I was just nominated as executive producer for with a project with the Dalai Lama. So I'll be going to India in May. And unbeknownst to me, that the Dalai Lama has been working with big universities such as Emory, Harvard on neuroscience, and that's pretty much my background. So on binaural beats, and doing EMDR the way that I do. I know Brandy, you were gracious enough to let me be part of a press conference with the band member from Def Leppard, and he spoke a little bit, and I was able to speak with him and his wife about binaural beats, and she has the Raven Drum Foundation and such, and why his healing was happening when the beats were happening on either side. Well, that's EMDR. We're activating the left and the right side of the brain. And then we can trigger that with trauma. So we really, truly can't reprocess traumatic memories unless we're in REM sleep. But as smart as our brain is, it's not that smart, because we can recreate REM sleep through the EMDR. And you're wide awake. But we're triggering those memories, because if we try to go to sleep and we're thinking about that and we're stuck on that loop, guess what you're not going to do? Or if you're thinking about your trauma when you're trying to go, you're not going to sleep. But if we can get you past that, and we can do the things like Brandy and I are going to do in this retreat, and really get to the bottom and the root of this ancestral healing, then we can do things like EMDR. We can do things like mediumship. We can build this, because it's not a one size fits all. It's not. EMDR is not going to be the cure to everything. Our shadow work is not the cure to everything. This is why a global tribe like this is so important, because every single thing that each and every one of us is bringing to the table is an integral part of our healing.
Yeah.
So even if it's something that just seems so far-fetched, because I walked around the expo and I'm like, oh my gosh, be open to hearing about it, because that aspect of it could be like world-renowned in your healing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to definitely be there for sure. Again.
And we are excited to have you there.
Andrea, your energy is beautiful. And
oh, thank you.
yeah, and we actually have a question. Susan Blomquist from the audience is asking, Andrea, how do you stay so positive with so much trauma around you?
That's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking. It can be tough. It can be definitely heavy at times. There's a lot of different modalities. Like I said earlier, it's not just one. I have to practice reminding my own self to tap into the things every day. Create a practice that works for you, because not everything is, again, one size fits all. So I make sure that when I'm getting up, I set my intention for the day. I say, you know what, today's gonna be a good day. I remind myself that if, somebody cuts me off for, I do throw ho'oponopono their way. And, but it really, truly, what I do to stay so positive is understanding that everything that negatively impacts us, there's a gift behind it. So I'll give you this quick story here. I had a lady that came in, one of my human traffic victims, lots of sexual assault, and she is amazing and doing amazingly well, and is going to be part of my book. But anyway, and she said to me one day when I first started seeing her, and I said, this was a gift. And I tell you, that woman got up and walked up to my front door and was just like, I'm leaving this office. What on earth is happening? And I said to her, I said, you're a mom now, right? She goes, yeah. And I said, you told me on the first time you saw me was that your child tells you that you're the best mom in the world. And I still get choked up when I tell the story. And she goes, yeah. I go, that's because everything that happened to you created you to be the best mom. That's the gift. I said, you make sure that your child is so protected, but not a hover mom at the same time. I said, because you went through that and that changed who you were. That's the gift. So I remind myself every morning, because as you guys will know in my book, you will see I've had a lot of trauma happen, but it took me having to go through those really dark places to be this light person that I am now, and understanding too that sometimes we're going to have a bad day, but it's up to us whether we want to sit there. We can sit there for a second, but we have a choice. Do we want to sit and wallow in that? Or do we want to look for that one positive thing, that one little glimmer? And sometimes, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm looking for that glimmer. But it's like, then you look around and you see all of these things and understanding the community. Like, look at all of us here. I'm sure that there's a way, like if somebody sends me an email, I'm going to respond. It might take me a day or two, but I'm going to get back to you. So find your tribe, find your people that are going to lift you up when, you have that, but don't let them fix the pieces. Just have them help you get the pieces back. Because if we try to mold it for you, it's never going to be the way you need it. So find the people that are just going to help you pick up the pieces and say, hey, I'm going to sit here with you. If you need me to hand you a glue stick, I'm here. But I'm not going to fix it for you, because then I'd be taking away your gift.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very, very lovely. And Eleanor Joy in our Zoom room just wrote, such words of wisdom you were sharing. Thank you, Andrea.
Oh, thank you.
Now tell us a little bit, because the two of you are doing an event as part of the after show. So this might be a good moment for Brandy to explain a little bit about what happens on Monday and what you two are going to be doing at that time.
Okay, yes. Well, I mean, first I want to say that Andrea will be speaking on Saturday, first on February 21st from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And she's going to be doing, live readings there. But the talk's name is Healing Words from Beyond. And so, yeah, I encourage everybody to go see her on Saturday at 6 o'clock to 7:30. And then on Monday, the post conference, there's a lot of powerful post conferences happening on Monday. So, Monday is when you can dive deeper on topics. So all the speakers will have like at least a 2.5 hour kind of workshop. And some of them are longer. We also have a couple of symposiums that are specifically focused on plant medicine and astrology, that are kind of all day things happening at the same time. But yeah, ours is talk is called Heal Your Heart on Both Sides of the Veil. So we are, going to be doing a little bit of process and readings of healing ancestral programming, kind of stuff, childhood wounding, and healing with some of the beloveds on the other side. And so that is, I'm sorry, on Monday at 2 o'clock, going from 2 to 4:30 on Monday in Century B.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'm going to check that out. I in my world, my best friend died October 26th. I found his body. We were living together in Grass Valley. And we were very close, so there's nothing that needed to be cleared up between us. But I'm like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You know,
Yeah.
I want to know, like, what's it like
Yeah.
up there?
Yeah.
It's funny, he always watched my show, and the night before he
Aw.
died, our show was all about near-death experiences. And
Wow.
he even said, we got to buy Cat Lewis's book. I want to read her book. So he was like fascinated with death and dying. And the next morning, I found him in his bathtub.
Wow.
So I would love to, if you can tune into my buddy Lucky, I would love to,
Yes,
you know, s-
absolutely.
yeah. So we'll have to see if we can make that happen.
We
Maybe.
will make that happen.
All right. Well, to learn more about the nurse medium, that's her website, the nurse medium .systems.io is where it comes in. Definitely, you want to put in your email address, just like I'm doing right now. There we go. Let's get it. There we go. So now I can stay in touch with the nurse medium. Is there anything you want to make sure that our audience that's watching knows about in terms of, obviously, the Conscious Life Expo events? Anything else on your website you want me to go to?
Well, it's kind of neat, this website, and people get very confused because it's the nurse medium, but then I'm a doctor and they get confused by that, right? It's a doctor mostly in functional medicine and then obviously the EMDR therapy aspect of it. But it's kind of neat because you're going to get what we call the healing channel when you sign up. We don't sell your email or anything like that. It's just myself and my amazing assistant, Kristen. And we let people know like where I'm going to be. I go on a lot of tours all over the place. So if you can't get to Conscious Life, which I really hope you are going to get to Conscious Life because it's way cool. But if you can't, at least you'll know what's going on. Even if you're local to here, like if you come to Southwest Florida, I do have my own studio here in Bonita Springs, and it'll kind of share like some of the things that are going on, a lot of updates. It's going to talk about like we're going to have a link to mine and Brandy's event that we're going to be doing, our retreat in Sedona, and talking about that. Definitely about like the movie, anything and everything that is going on. And I also love to promote other people. So if there's something that maybe one of you guys are going to be in my area, I think that it's so important. There's so many mediums out there, and there's so many people that are just like all of us that are doing the same things. But the beauty of that is that we all don't have the same energy. So maybe they're not supposed to come to me. I had two mediums the same night, back to back when I was in New York, and everybody's like, oh, well, maybe we should change you and put you on a different day. I was like, no, because the people that need us are going to find us. They're going to be attracted to that energy. So I also like people to let me know. So if I can help support them in any way too, I love that. I think we should all be supporting each other. That's why we're a tribe, right?
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. And maybe you said it and I missed it. When's the retreat the two of you are doing in Sedona? When's that going to be?
It is August 22nd through the 29th.
Okay, August 20th. That's a good time to be in Sedona. It's a
It
lot
is.
that the thunderstorms come in, the
Oh,
monsoon season. August
yes,
is monsoon season, which is really cool. I really like
it is. It's a yeah, perfect kind of energy to kind of clear out whatever needs to be cleared out.
It definitely, even from the mediumship side, like sometimes when these big storms, I know like here we get a lot of hurricanes, and it's like when those storms come in, it clears that energy, and it also just it really stirs up, and spirit loves shifts in energy. So I mean, what a perfect time frame to be doing that.
Okay, so August 22nd to 29th, that's the time for us to be in Sedona, Arizona. And
Yeah, it's
that's definitely between now and then. I'd love to have the two of you back on the show talking more about your work. And that way we can promote it a little bit closer to the time.
okay.
Wonderful, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Andrea, thank you. And I'm going to look you up when we're at the expo. Let's definitely connect because I'd love
We
to
will.
take you to my buddy Lucky. That'd be really fun.
Wonderful. I would love that. I'd be honored.
Thanks. Good to meet you.
Thank you. Great to meet you.
All right. Well, Brandy, we're going to roll right on with our next guest. So I'll let you do the introduction.
Okay. Well, I'm very happy to be able to introduce another beautiful soul that I also met in Sedona, Dr. Clint G. Rogers. He has this beautiful soul that is committed to bringing like the teachings of a master teacher that he had learned from Dr. I don't know that I know his name exactly, how to say it right. Clint will correct me if I say it wrong. Dr. Pankaj Naram.
Yeah, that's close. Dr. Pankaj Naram, or just Dr. Naram.
Dr. Naram,
Yeah.
thank you. Had he was like looking for, it's not something he was looking for to get into, as he was, a researcher at the university, was not very focused on alternative medicine at all. But when his father fell ill and he was, looking for a solution to heal his father and help him get out of pain and such, he then discovered Dr. Naram. And as Dr. Naram's ancient secrets of healing helped heal his father, then Clint, he had then continued to follow Dr. Naram, documenting all of these ancient secrets that he was utilizing to heal thousands and thousands of people, and has recorded, thousands of healings with these ancient secrets. And so, unfortunately, Dr. Naram has left the body. And so Dr. Roger he continues sharing his healing and ancient secrets with the world, and we're so grateful that he does. So please welcome Dr. Rogers.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Brandy. Thank you, Scott and Deborah and Andrea. Wow, what a powerful meeting already. And for everyone watching this, I don't think there's an accident that you're here right now. There's some really beautiful, powerful things that even if you just hear one of these secrets, it can change your life forever. So thank you, Brandy, so much for inviting me to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying yes. Thank you so much for saying yes to joining us at Conscious Life Expo, and also for saying yes to being a part of the retreat that we're going to be doing in September as well, to help people heal in the physical.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I have
so
a question. Actually, I want to jump in. Your
okay.
book is called Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. So tell us one of those ancient secrets.
Yeah. Well, actually the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. The subtitle is A Western Skeptic, an Eastern Master, and Life's Greatest Secrets. So I know many people on this call, you wouldn't consider yourself a skeptic, but I definitely was. And I saw things that didn't make any sense to my Western mind, graduating from a university. I thought that if there's solutions to our health challenges that would come from our highly funded universities or doctors, but then I saw this master healer do stuff that looked impossible. And my brain tried to discount it, say it must be placebo, this. But I just saw it happen again and again. I never knew that I was going to learn how to do it. And so at Conscious Life Expo, actually, for people who are in the audience, you're going to see stuff that looks like a miracle, but it's based on a science. And the foundation of the science, Scott, I love that you ask, what is one of those ancient secrets? Sometimes I tell people, even if they just open, because this book now in 42 languages, I'm so happy that the first quote, even if people just open this first quote, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. And I really think that's true, actually, because there's so many different forces on this planet right now, creating fear, anxiety, loneliness, all kinds of distress. And at the same time, there's so many amazing things happening that often don't get, major media coverage. They show up on shows like this, Scott. But I believe love can guide you through that instead of being occupied by fear or ego or whatever it is. but tuning into what do you want. So another ancient secret, Dr. Trump says, instead of focusing on what you don't want, why don't you focus on what you do want? Now that's super helpful now on the planet. We could so easily focus on what we don't want. Right now I'm in DC, actually. Tomorrow I'll be in meetings with a lot of different, political leaders and different things. And then later on, I'm guiding a beautiful trip to mystical Nepal, where we'll be meeting with Dalai Lama beforehand and so many other things. But in this planet, I notice people are just coming from fear. And notice when you're coming from fear, what are you focused on? And if you're curious and like you ask yourself, Scott or Brandy, okay, what was I focused on? Oh, I'm focused on what I don't want. And then there's something in this book called Marma Shakti. So it's full of home remedies, things you can make in your own kitchen, but also you understand what subtle energy points on your body you can press to activate certain things. So on the right hand, this point on your right pointer finger, you can close your eyes. Over your right eye, you see a white frame. You press it 6 times and you say, what do I want? And this message goes from the conscious to the subconscious to super conscious, and it pulls it back through. And it's really powerful, actually, when you just simply start to ask yourself, what do I want? Even I've had this with couples. They're arguing with each other. They're focused on what they don't want, but then they say, okay, what do you want? And it changes the brain, actually. So that's one of the secrets, but there's a lot more to it than that. But I've seen when I went there originally as a skeptic, I saw people who were paralyzed walk. I saw people with frozen shoulder get full mobility. I saw people in coma come out. I kept thinking it's placebo, but then I saw it works on animals, it works on babies. And these powerful ancient secrets were preserved by these masters. The original master was Jivaka, who was the physician for Buddha. And it was passed down master to student, thousands of years. When I see what's possible today, it gives me a lot of hope and excitement. And I think that when you see it, for me, it scrambled my brain. and then I got excited that this exists on the planet and that nature itself is so powerful.
Yeah. What have been a couple of your favorite cases?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Brandy. You mentioned my father. So in my TEDx talk, which spread like crazy, and in the book I talk about him, but one of my favorite cases is my mom. And this is why,
Wow.
because I think, I don't know if anyone else resonates with this, but when you start to, have more awareness of things, and and I changed. And sometimes you go back and your family doesn't accept I don't know, like it takes a little bit longer for them to digest that you're a different person or have a different, background. My mom, she saw what happened with my father. She even read the book, loved it, but she had big arthritis, pain in her hips and her knees, so much she would get out of bed and fall back into bed. And even though in here there's powerful secrets, she never did any of it. She read it, she loved it, but never did it until, we also have a Sunday Global Healing Miracle Call. And she came on this and she heard the person who translated the book into Portuguese share about how, as she was translating on page 133, she saw this remedy for what to do to have healthy joints. And then on page 173, this recipe for this soup, this really amazing soup that decreases inflammation. And so my mom heard her share her story about how she had stage 4 knee pain, but instead of focusing on what she doesn't want, she focused on what she did want. She wanted to run a marathon, but all the doctors said this is going to be impossible. But she started doing these 2 remedies. And within, I think, maybe 6 months, she ran her marathon, came back, the doctor said, wow, we don't know what happened. Went from stage 4 to stage 2, no pain in her knees. Then my mom started doing these things. She started eating this soup. She started doing this remedy. And within 3 days, her knee pain went away. And the thing I love about that story, Brandy, is it wasn't because of me, actually. Like, she loves me, but she didn't, I don't know, somehow believe me enough to actually do it until she heard the story of someone from a different country and her transformation. And then she tried it. And so what I love about it is skeptics are welcome. And you just do the experiment. And like my mom now, every time I come back home, she always has a long line of people she met at the grocery store or church or the health club and have some pain. And she's like, oh, my son can help you. And she gives them something called beans and books. So that recipe is mung bean soup. And I want to give it as a gift to anyone who's watching right now. But I say, what if healing can be delicious? And what if it can be simple? And what if it can be based on natural principles? And so it's about balancing your body. And like Brandy and Andrea said, I'm actually going to be supporting them at this retreat in Sedona. And I live in Sedona at the end of August, where you'll actually have, I call it a delicious detox.
Yes.
And so what if even detox can be delicious?
Yes.
And you, in addition to that powerful stuff they're doing on a metaphysical level, we take care of your physical body in such a way that the transformation can anchor in. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And that was so beautiful about your this work is when you read your book, The Ancient Secrets of the Master Healer, is that how many of the stories that are in there are like miracles, like things that you don't think are possible are actually happening and healing, in there. And, yeah, I mean, maybe you'd like to share like a couple of those, like one being, his mother and his father. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen now because it's interesting. I started as a university researcher. I actually went to India to prove this wrong.
Oh, really?
But then it ended up proving me wrong. And when I saw what happened for my own family, I said, more people should know this exists. They may not choose it, but they should at least know this is a choice. And so when I told this doctor that I wanted to help him, he actually laughed at me. I was like so confused because I knew his mission was he wanted this ancient secrets to benefit every heart and home. And I said, "Why are you laughing?" And he said, "Because I know you now." I was like, "What does that mean?" And he says, "You're even if I told you these ancient secrets, you wouldn't get it. You try and figure it out with your head, but you're so much in your mind." And then that confused me because as a university researcher, I'm using my mind to solve problems. And he said, some things are beyond mind. You understand them with your heart. And so I said, "What do I do?" And he sent me for 10 days of silence. Then I came out, I was like, whoa, that was amazingly life-changing. Then he brought me up in the mountain of the Himalayas, this orphan home called the Mountain Children Home. And he said, "This is now your family." And I didn't realize, but that was also medicine for me because when you're with these kids, actually I have a picture of them right here. When you're with these kids, you can't be in your head. You're in your heart and you remember to play again. And when you see the challenges they've been through and how they love, the frequency, the vibration of how they love, when you touch that kind of a frequency, it changes your life forever. And so it's so fun. For the last 15 years, they've been my family. And when I take people on this mystical Nepal tour, we go to these ancient sacred sites, which have vibration that can change your being. But when you're with these kids, it opens your whole heart in such a way that you get clarity on what do you want? What is your purpose? Dr. Ram, he said, everything is a medicine or poison, depending how you use it. Even water is a medicine or poison, depending on what's your situation. Your life's work is a medicine or poison, depending on if it's aligned with your purpose. And so when I take people on this mystical tour, we do something called the Miracle Experiment Game. And everyone has an amazing experience where by the end of it, you get clarity on, oh, I had so much programming from all of my life and focused on what other people wanted for me. But now I'm clear on what do I want? Why am I here on this planet? I promise, if you forget everything else, whoever's watching, you are here on this planet for a reason. I love Andrea. She talked about how our challenges have gifts. On page 29, Dr. Ram's master says, every adversity, every difficult situation or heartbreak has within it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. And I believe that's true. You're here on this planet now for a reason. And this is the most exciting time to be alive.
Yes.
It's just beautiful, Clint. And we've got actually a question from the audience. Rex is asking, Clint, can modern medical technology and ancient healing techniques coexist? Sometimes I feel that I'm being pressured to choose just one and reject the other.
Yeah, oh, such a great question. I think that modern medicine has done some amazing things. Like I had LASIK surgery before I wore glasses, but now I don't wear glasses. That's incredible. And many people call it complementary. Um, I again come back to this opening quote. I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. I believe the more that we can be intuitively guided, then that's the most important thing. And when I love how at the beginning Deborah was talking about all kinds of amazing cases. I've seen so many possibilities that I never knew existed before. Like Brandy said, they look like miracles, but it's based on a science. So the way I say is if you're playing, let's say you play baseball your whole life, and then you see someone playing soccer, you don't go up to the person playing soccer and say, this isn't a true sport. You're not playing sport, you know, because it's different rules. And so these two systems, they have different frameworks and they look at the world differently, but it doesn't mean that one is good or bad. Sometimes one can solve things in such a way, a deep way. So for instance, with the ancient secrets, it just sees it through the balance of the system and a purification in which your body starts to regenerate itself. Now, Western medicine does so many amazing things. In fact, when I teach at a university in Germany, lots of times I have some of the top doctors from around the world come, and they want to learn how can I integrate these ancient secrets into my own practice. So I consider them complementary in a lot of ways.
Beautiful. Thank you. Not sure if Randy, you have another question, but if you don't, I would love to have you. I'm looking at your website, and obviously your love of children is powerful. And it's interesting going to your website, and the very thing is supporting children. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, well, this was what I said when I went to learn these ancient secrets from Dr. Ram, and he said, you're too much in your mind. The first thing he did is send me for silence. And second thing is to this orphanage. And he said, this is now your family. And, you know, Scott, it's interesting because for someone who uses their mind for their profession, when you are with these kids, you cannot be in your head. You're just in this heart energy. And whatever problem you think you have, it's nothing compared to what these kids have been through. And if they can come to a state of loving and play, then anyone here on this listening now, you can use those challenges and see that every challenge has within it seeds of equal or greater benefit. Come back to the question of what do I want, and then let love guide you, and also let play guide you. I think we can be so much more curious on this planet. The amount of access we have is crazy. We can learn the most amazing things from experts on this planet, almost anything. And also, the more we tune inward. And one of the reasons why I moved to Sedona was because I just wanted to go more and more inward. I think however much everyone thinks the world changed a lot in the last 5 years. I think it's going to change even more in the next 5 years. And so as people are becoming more and more addicted to technology, so many romances with AI or so much loneliness or whatever, I think that I'm personally here on the planet to be an ambassador of joy, to remind people to connect again with nature, with the natural laws, connect with each other in authentic relationships, be vulnerable in a way that you allow yourself to be loved. And then you're not doing things to prove things to earn love. And I think honestly, Scott and Brandy, so much of us on this planet, we don't realize it, but we're trying to succeed or whatever to try and earn love. Well, what if you're already loved? Then what are you going to do? And so that process, in fact, at the end of each chapter in the book, I ask you certain questions. And the whole point of it is to guide you at a place where you get clarity on, okay, if I'm already loved, if I'm already lovable, then what would I do? What would I be? What do I want to spend this precious day of my life doing? And so there's powerful questions that can lead you to discover that. And I can't think of anything that's actually more important to do. You know, you can actually have more abundance than working at jobs you hate. You can have more fulfillment than being in relationships that, you know, are I don't know. I just feel like there is more reason to feel hope, happiness, and health now than ever.
You know, I
totally
agree
and
with
then I want to give some gifts. There's even just to prove it to yourself, there's some simple remedies. And I want to give people some of those gifts if you want, where you can actually practice by making stuff in your kitchen or.
Beautiful. Well, definitely we're going to get to your free gifts in a quick moment. I just want to read a couple comments that have come in from our audience, because I always love to include our Zoom roomers. Dia Therese writes, Dr. Clint, I love your love. I bought my Ancient Secrets book years ago, and it's fabulous. Your teachings have been part of my lengthy journey of becoming aware of my wholeness. I love your exuberant sharing and your love to assist humankind. Namaste. Omashar says, Dr. Clint, the ambassador of joy. Eleanor Joy writes, so much wisdom is being shared right now. The cells in my body are strongly resonating. Connie writes, yes, as Clint says, it is a conscious, loving universe. It's all love, even the things we see as not love. So I wanted to make sure that you heard some of those comments coming in from our Zoom roomers. And yes,
Oh, thank you so much, everyone.
you have offered free gifts. So again, this is a link which I've put in the chat box. I'll put it again. And now tell us a little bit while I put in my email and do what you're asking me to do. Well, tell us about these free gifts.
Yeah, there's so many things that are accessible in our own kitchen or points that you can press on your body that make a big difference. And so, like we have even something called Ancient Secrets Cookbook, Ancient Secrets for Pets, and we're about to release Ancient Secrets for Emergencies. And we've helped so many people in disaster areas. Now, always call 911 if there's an emergency, but what if the phone doesn't work? What if the roads are broken up because of an earthquake or the ambulances or hospitals are full? Why not learn what's in your own kitchen and what points you can press on your own body that can help with such extreme cases as when blood pressure is high or anxiety is there, or how to heal wounds, or these masters for thousands of years identified powerful things that you can do and ingredients in your own kitchen, how everything is a medicine or poison depending on how you use it. So you can be a big instrument. And what if you just learn one secret that maybe even saves someone's life? I've seen people even who just have this book, and just from this book have told me stories about how they helped save the life of one of their family members. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So why not empower yourself? Definitely call 911 if there's an emergency. But what if your phone doesn't work? Why not empower yourself to learn what healing things are around you? Even so many things we think are weeds in our yard are actually medicinal, such powerful medicines. And so why not learn what are those things growing in our own garden and in our own kitchens?
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then also that recipe for soup, it's called mung bean soup, and not moonbeam, but mung bean. And it's really delicious, powerful thing where even if you just start that one recipe, like that was what my mom did, where so much of her joint pain disappeared, because it removes a lot of inflammation and it helps in a lot of ways.
Beautiful. So for everybody watching, again, you can find all these wonderful things by going to myancientsecrets.com. Myancientsecrets.com is where a good starting point for all things Clint Rogers. Definitely do what I just did. Put in your name and information. Sign up to get some free remedies, recipes, tips, and much more from the Ambassador of Joy, which you are now have been dubbed here for our Global Peace Tribers. And
yeah, and then I'm excited for you to come to Conscious Life Expo. I have some real special things I'm going to do on the 20th. I can't remember, Brandy, what time my presentation. I think it's 4 o'clock.
You are 4 o'clock on Friday. Yes.
Yeah. But when we're in person live together, there's certain things that you can witness that will look like a miracle, but it's based on a science. And when you see that happen, it fills you with such an interesting sensation of hope and possibility that whatever is happening on this planet, you know that you're here to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And that, we don't have to let fear and ego rule us and guide us. We can let love guide us. And by letting love guide us, infinite things are possible.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Brandy, I'm so grateful that you invited so far. I mean, my gosh, back to back, Andrea and Clint, just beautiful, beautiful souls. Thank you so much. And Clint, we'll look forward to seeing you. Andrea's right here, so I'm going to bring her up too. So thank you both for getting us off to such a beautiful, beautiful start.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Looking
Thank
forward.
you, Scott. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, everyone.
You're good.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be back, of course, with more of our amazing people, including Brandy. But it is time briefly for some Global Peace Tribe announcements. And we're going to keep it pretty quick today, but want to let everybody know that truly, if you are interested in coming to the expo, let me know. Let's make sure we connect while we're there. Also wanted to remind you that I think it was last week that we had this wonderful show where we showed excerpts from Hannah Bork's upcoming show called Let the Wind Sweep Through, a Conference of Birds. And on Thursday night, February 12th, that's the night that Eden Amador and I have kind of decided that we want to bring some global peace drivers. So for you, those of you in Northern California, in the Bay Area, if you're interested in coming to see the show, we'll have dinner beforehand. Show is at 7. So we'll all meet in San Rafael on around 5:30 p.m., probably at a Thai restaurant. And then we'll go see the show and then maybe hang out for tea afterwards. So that's going to be Thursday night, February 12th, for any of you who want to see that show. And then I want to always like to let people know about what we've got coming up. Just like we collaborate tonight with the Conscious Life Expo, we are going to be collaborating again with our friends from Portal to Ascension. And Neil Gar will be co-hosting with me. And we're going to be focusing on a lot of very mystical consciousness stuff. We've got a great lineup. Vivian Chavez, if you want to meet an alien, if you really say, I want to meet an ET, well, guess what? That's Vivian. She is a genuine hybrid. She's the real deal. And our audience loves her. Laura Eisenhower, the granddaughter of the former president and the man who was the head of all the military forces in World War II. And she has extraordinary experiences. And our beloveds, AJ and Tom, the twin channels, will be with us. Peter is Vivian's husband. And of course, you all know Ellen Steinfeld, who will bring us the latest of what's happening with Making Contact. And beloved Omashar providing musical offerings. So that's what we've got coming up on Saturday night. And speaking of Omashar, it is that time for our mid-show Omashar moment. Here he is.
Remember, you're always divinely connected. Our spirits, our bodies are being resurrected. The love in your hearts will lift you up, and I'll come along and fill your cup. I am you. Though we seem to come from different skies, and what is true is the love that shines right through your eyes. 1,000 sunny days describes the joy I feel. I'd walk 1,000,000 miles, 'cause you know we'll see the truth reveal. Remember, you're always divinely connected. Our spirits, our bodies are being resurrected. The love in your hearts will lift you up, and I'll come along and fill your cup. I am you. Though we seem to come from different skies, and what is true is the love that shines right through your eyes. Here we go. I am
Gallery review time. Let's give lots of love and twinkles to our beloved.
Love it, Twinkles. Yeah, that's my second name, Mr. Twinkles.
Hey, I'm going to put the spotlight on Susan for a moment because, as you all know, we're beginning to do this new program where we highlight members of the Global Peace Tribe. And this Saturday night, we are going to be highlighting Susan. I'm learning all about her. And one of the things that I discovered is that she has a wonderful book of poetry, which I immediately went out and bought. There it is. So we're going to learn about her poetry book, and Susan's going to be our next Meet the Global Tribers, Peace Tribers, I should say. So we're looking forward to getting to know all about you on Saturday night, Susan. She always dances, and she goes around and around and around in a circle. I always worry that she's going to get like dizzy and faint. Have you ever noticed that? She's always one of our best
In her
dancers.
past life, she was a whirling dervish, so she's good.
There it is. I think that sounds about right. Does that work for you, Susan? Can you relate to that?
Yes, spinning away, and I'm going to get everyone to write a little if we have time. Yes,
Fantastic.
delighted.
So we'll see you on Saturday night. All right. We've got two more amazing presenters live in the audience, and then we've got two amazing pre-recorded videos. So I'm going to go back to our co-hostess with the mostest, the wonderful Brandy.
Thank you. So our next guest, I'm really excited to actually meet her in person. I do believe this is her first time actually coming and speaking at Conscious Life Expo. I was very intrigued by her topic and subject that I really wanted her to come share with the tribe more about it. So Wendy Rice, she is author, and she has a book and a podcast about the living the moon cycles. And she also is an oracle who streams 11th Alliance, which is the 11th dimensional unified consciousness. And the 11th Alliance is a collaboration of collective intelligence of the 11th dimension with the initiative of co-creating a new world where unified consciousness is the source of truth and direction. So please welcome Wendy Wrights.
Hello, Brandy. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and thank you, Global Peace Tribe and Scott and everyone. I'm just enjoying this incredibly. This is great. Yeah, as Brandy just mentioned, I am an oracle, and I have been downloading sacred geometry for 25 years, and I have developed a relationship with the 11th Alliance, and it's a collaboration of many people who are streaming unified consciousness right now. And we have created co-create.global, which is the platform for 11th Alliance. And we have been guided to create 3 different software programs that you put your birth date in. And these programs show you the illumination of your consciousness, because we are illumination. That's the basis of consciousness. And so we have taken one of these software programs and we've built it out as living the moon cycles. So the 3 software programs are your identity map, your illumination map, and also your life map. And those 3 things are the harmony within your consciousness. And so when you start to learn according to these maps about your consciousness, it brings harmony and balance into your consciousness. And so living the moon cycles is truly what we're talking about when you say that. We have been living the sacred geometry within cyclical time for 6 years now. And this has been a huge collaboration. And over 1,000 people have tested these programs, and we've done discovery sessions, workshops, classes, and now we have a podcast. And on our podcast, what we share, it's a conversation between myself and my 2 good friends who are also highly intuitive, and they stream the 11th Alliance. And we have a conversation about the practical experiences of living sacred geometry every day. And a lot of people think that when you're highly intuitive, you only get profound guidance. But what we really like to bring through to people is that your entire day can be inspired next steps. And when you live this, which is what I've been doing for 25 years, it just changes your life. Like, I never knew I would be creating software programs and building websites and, meeting these incredible people that are collaborating with us. And so we're going to be at the Expo, which is really exciting. And meeting Brandy has been great. Immediately, we were having the greatest time on the phone when we were signing up for the booth. We're figuring out what we're going to do and everything. And the Conscious Life Expo is so accommodating especially for someone new like us. We've done a few smaller expos, but this is our bigger one. And so our booth is really fun. We have 2 kiosks that you can walk up to, and you can put your birth date in, and there's a little printer, thermal printer, that prints out your illumination map. And this shows you when you were born in the moon cycle. And how we understand the sacred geometry of that is the part you play in the world, in what everyone's describing here as the transformation or ascension. And so when everybody knows when they were born in the moon cycle, then they know the part they play. And when we all play our parts together, it's like this beautiful orchestration that goes on. And so when you're living the sacred geometry within your consciousness, your body is actually an instrument that's playing according to the natural rhythms. And it syncs with that. And so living the moon cycles is really about we teach you simple sacred geometry, that then you understand, you see that in the moon as it's changing illumination throughout its cycle. And then you also learn what every moon week is about. Because every moon cycle, you do change and growth, transferable understanding. When you are aware of this, it accelerates that process. And so you go from a limited awareness to the true capacity of your consciousness. And so that's the other thing that we're bringing into the world, is that so everyone's consciousness is huge, but we're all using this limited awareness. And so that's the main thing that Co-Create Global does, is brings objectivity between those two things. You know, what is it in the world that is keeping you in a limited awareness? And how do you really live the true capacity of your consciousness?
So is that in your chart? You can see in your chart what is limiting you in your consciousness or in certain areas of your life?
The charts, see, these maps are positive, okay?
Uh-huh.
And it shows you the true capacity of your consciousness. And then what you do is you understand, wow, okay, I didn't know I could do that. When I learned about my life objective, which, I was downloading this and everything, it said that I was a great speaker and writer, and I was not speaking or writing at that time. And so that's what a lot, you just learn these things about yourself. And then all of a sudden, when you bring it into your consciousness, it happens. You're actualizing it, you're creating it, basically. And so our booth is really fun. We're going to have 5 co-create collaborators in the booth. We're going to have to take time, I mean, because this is long stints for the whole day. But when you come to our booth, you will print out your illumination, and then we stream your higher consciousness or collective intelligence on the spot with you to understand your map.
Stream it meaning, yeah, as far as channeling it, kind of what comes
Well,
with it,
see,
alliance
this
or
this is what took me a while to understand how I knew I was an oracle, because unified consciousness is different than channeling. So when you're bringing unified consciousness into this reality, you're streaming it. Compared to channeling, you're holding yourself to a channel of it. And so when you stream, since it's unified, you're streaming across a very large spectrum. And that's why people can just walk up and we can just immediately just start streaming their consciousness.
okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're going to, because I did, print out my chart, but I didn't totally understand it. So I was wondering if you will be in your talk kind of describing the different things that you can find in your chart and what each
Yeah,
one of them
yeah.
means.
We have, each map is so cool, and they're all interrelated, and they're all color coded together too. So we have programmers right now working on an app that's going to lead people through unlocking different parts of their map and understanding it, kind of sequentially. We've tried to create like a owner's guide, and it was too much information for people. So I'm originally a product designer. And so that's how this whole thing started, was because I wanted to know why I had this incredible mind. Like, I have a photographic memory and three-dimensional mind, and it does all these things. And so that's how I ended up studying all the different kinds of astrology. And then I built a different user interface so that you can understand it within the world now, instead of, because all the symbols and it's hard. There's a lot of interface you have to do yourself. So that's really what has happened, is that we're bringing into the world these products that let you open up your intuition and your knowing and your instincts and inspiration in an organic way that's based on sacred geometry.
Oh, and is the living the moon cycles associated with the 11th Alliance?
Yes, Yes. So Co-Create Global is the foundational platform that kind of explains the overall. And then Living the Moon Cycle takes just that one map, illumination, and it dives deep into what our illumination of our consciousness is all about, the sacred geometry underlying it, what it is to live it and be synced with cyclical time instead of the traditional calendar. A lot of people don't understand how limiting that calendar is to our consciousness because it doesn't really have any significance and meaning.
Yeah.
When you start to live cyclical time, you start to understand that every experience has significance to it according to the pattern of the moon weeks.
Mm-hmm. And is it associated, a kind of connection with like Vedic astrology, since Vedic astrology is based on the moon? Does it have a connection with that?
You're going to see a wide range of astrology brought together in this new interface that we've created.
Okay.
Because, like what we like to say, it's not either or, it's both. There's a
Uh-huh.
truth within everything. And that's what unified consciousness is always doing is it's getting everyone to see the common theme within everything we're doing because that's unifying it.
Yeah. So I assume this is also really connected to how, they changed our calendar and that our calendar used to be, 13 months, and it started more actually with April. Yeah. Um,
Well, if
yeah.
if you know, so cyclical time flows, it is just a flow through
Hmm.
moon cycles. Okay, there isn't really measurement to it. And when they tried to take cyclical time and put it in a grid, that's the calendar we have. But cyclical time has its own relationships that aren't always one to one, like the moon and the sun and all the orbiting planets and everything. So when you try to measure it accurately, you always are having to make up for things like leap year. And there's really truly only 12 new moons within a celestial year. It's only because the calendar doesn't come out right that you say there's some years with 13 moons and some years with 12. But
Mhm.
when you're doing cyclical time and you're just flowing through these moon cycles, you just you keep going and you keep going. And it's just this beautiful flow of opening up your consciousness.
Beautiful. And at your booth, you're also offering free books, I believe, as well, right? Of the moon.
Um, yes, we have right now on our website, you can go to our website and you can click guidebook, and that guidebook is up on the website for everyone to read. And it's the Living the Moon Cycle's Organic Way of Being. And it gets you started with the simple sacred geometry and cyclical time, talks about the traditional calendar, change and growth, what happens within the moon weeks. So our website is very much a resource so that you can know where we are in the moon cycle. You know what moon cycle we're in the total 12 that are going on. Our podcast is on there. That's free. I just recorded a message from the 11th Alliance a couple days ago. And that is if you go to our website, that's the latest podcast, and you can hear the bigger scope of what the initiative of the 11th Alliance is and how it's in the world to bring balance and order, balance and harmony. And it's really about when there's so many master musicians, if you want to call them that are here to play the song of sacred geometry within their consciousness. And once everyone is synced to that organic way of being, it brings rightful order to the consciousness, this whole realm. And because it's such a foundational aspect of consciousness.
So are the moon cycles connected to sacred geometry?
Oh, yes, that's the biggest part. If you go to our website and you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, you will see the entire sacred geometry. Yeah, if you scroll down, you got to go all the way down to the third section. Keep going. This section. So this is the sacred geometry of consciousness, and every moon cycle is a particular point on these geometric shapes. And then within that octahedron are the 7 traditional chakras. So when you're living the moon cycles, you're opening up the sacred geometry within your consciousness, and each moon cycle is a different dimension. So you start with the 12th dimension, it opens up and it shines light on the 11th, and that opens up, which shines light on the 10th. So this is different than a lot of people know, because when you're grounding yourself through the chakras, you usually come up from the bottom, the root, and sacral.
Yeah.
But what we have learned with the 11th Alliance, it's about starting and opening up these portals within your consciousness from the top down, and then you illuminate your consciousness.
Wow. Thank you. Scott, do you have anything else to ask?
Well, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And I actually want to go to your website again.
Yes.
So for everybody watching at home, it's livingthemooncycles.com. Livingthemooncycles.com. And she mentioned her podcast, so that's the very first thing. You click right there, and there's the podcasts. And this is really a wonderful way to really kind of learn more about the moon.
So,
It's
Scott,
beautiful.
if you click on one of those words in that diagram, it'll pop up with an explanation. Yeah, click that.
There you go.
And it tells you what that particular part of the moon cycle is about.
Beautiful. Wow. Well, let's see. We just finished the full moon. So we're kind of about here.
Yes. So we're in the behavioral patterns week. Every week, what this does is it gives you inspiration the first week, it changes the narrative of your life the second week, and then that narrative changes your behavioral patterns. And then in the 4th week of the moon cycle, that's when you alchemize it into knowledge and wisdom. And so every moon cycle is change and growth.
It's beautiful. Francis in our chat box says that we are in the actualize phase of the moon cycle right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. Carol, I'm not sure if this is a question or not. She has a question. She says, I used the illumination map opportunity on the website and was told I'm an actualizer. What does that actually, what does that signify?
Okay, so there's 8 phases or 8 parts to the moon cycle, and this is based on sacred geometry, and depending on when you're born, you're one of those 8 parts of co-creation. And the first one is ideas, and then plan, build, test, actualize, share, evaluate, and refine. Oh gosh, I got them all right. I was like, whew. So yeah, and people don't quite realize this, but like this person was born in the actualized part of the moon cycle right after that full moon. And so what they do is they implement things into the world. Now we have been testing this for many years. If I'm in a workshop and I do everyone's illumination, and then I say, what is it you do in the world? And a lot of them say exactly what their illumination is. And then some people who it doesn't match, I'll say, what do you really want to do? And then they describe it, and it's exactly their illumination. And so I've gone to like networking events where there's recruiters and there's people looking for jobs. And I have walked around and pulled up people's illumination maps and their identity maps to see if what they're doing in the world matches all of this. And so we've been doing this for many years, and it's very fun, like we are so addicted to it to see how it comes out.
Fantastic. Well, there's still even more right here on this page. And I love this idea, the illumination moon cycles, which you had described earlier. Now, is it always in kind of the order of 12, or does it?
Yes.
So, regardless of year, in the summer, we're always in action, surrender, grace, for example.
Yes, this is for the northern hemisphere. So
Okay.
these seasons are for that. The southern hemisphere has different seasons according, it's flipped that way.
Right.
So when you start to do sacred geometry, understand that there's number in space, number in time, number in space and time. And so when you do illumination moon cycles, you are really working with the spatial aspect of your consciousness. And those moon cycles that you're looking at, that diagram is about how it's just a continuous flow, spatial expansion of your consciousness. Now, when you get to the moon cycle itself, that's number in time, that's number in space and time. And so it's a more practical opening up of your consciousness on these different, you can see the different dimensional levels of space and time. So that's what working with sacred geometry is really fun, because it really shows how we're so multidimensional. I mean, we're multidimensional beings, and a lot of us just live in time and don't really understand the spatial growth and change that's happening.
Wendy, thank you so much for just helping to blow our minds a little bit. And really that's the time that we're living in right now, is just, we've got to be willing to just open our minds to entirely new ways of seeing the world, seeing each other. And you're a living example of that, Wendy. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was a great opportunity. I
well-
love the whole thing.
And I wanted to let everybody know that her talk is on Sunday at 6 o'clock in room Century B. So come see her. And also she has a booth down in the Rabbit Hole Plaza.
P29.
Fantastic.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Looking forward to seeing you at the Expo.
So our next guest is somebody who is really popular at Conscious Life Expo. Everybody loves to have Ishmael Perez come be a part of Conscious Life Expo, and we are so grateful that he has decided to join us again this year. He is a powerful cosmic ambassador that represents an intergalactic alliance known as the Covenant of Palador. It is a cosmic treaty that was initiated by the forces of light in the higher dimensions to protect and guard the Earth from the Draco forces. The majority of the starseeds that have volunteered for the call to rescue this planet, including himself, have been selected to come here and help. And he is one of the inner council members who is here to bring forth the next level of cosmic disclosure that will restore our planet back to its original glory and fulfillment of the galactic prophecies. And, the information that he brings and has brought to the world really has never been heard on this planet before he started sharing it. So we're grateful to have him come share some more of that brilliant awareness with us tonight and at Conscious Life Expo. So welcome, Ishmael.
Thank you, Brandy. It's always a great honor and pleasure to be here with like-minded individuals. And I just wanted to thank all of those people who had an opportunity to share a little bit about themselves and their hard work. And I just wanted to thank them as well for the work that they do. I also wanted to extend gratitude to the Galactic Jedis that are on here. I did let them know on my podcasts that I was going to be here tonight. Normally I go live tonight. So I told them, if you guys want to see me, you have to tune in. Here's the website. And so a big shout out to all the Galactic Jedis. That's a term that I used to reference my viewers and my followers. And so, big shout out to them. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting this live. Yeah, it's exciting, Brandy. This is what, my third year. I can't even
Maybe
remember.
fourth.
I think
Yeah.
it's going to be my fourth year. And yeah, it's always a great honor and pleasure. And by the way, I do want to share that I did win the first place book award last year at the Conscious Life Expo. So that was exciting. And again, a lot of this accomplishments um, is because of my viewers, the support that I get. I've been very fortunate enough to just have such amazing people resonate with me, the tribes, and I'm just thankful for all their support because if it wasn't for my viewers, I wouldn't be here. So I just wanted to let them know that they are greatly appreciated. Now, the Conscious Life Expo has been an international phenomena. I've remember when I was younger, watching it. I think you guys have been doing it for quite some time, and I was in my early 20s getting downloads as I was writing my groundbreaking work, Our Cosmic Origin. And I just remember seeing huge, I guess, headliners that were um, speaking at the Conscious Life Expo, like Richard Hoagland, and he's done a lot for the disclosure community, and David Wilcock, and so on and so forth. And I said to myself, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to be on that stage. And lo and behold, I was. I do remember the very first time that I made an appearance. I honestly was shocked. I didn't know that I was going to have so many people to the point where my room was so saturated. I had a
Yeah.
line waiting, and that's when it just hit me. And I said, wow, I guess there's people out there that are open to this next level of disclosure. And so I was very intrigued, that there was an interest for what I call this higher level cosmic information, which is what I specialize in. And a little bit more about myself. I am part of a council known as the Emerald Order, which operates on different levels of reality. So, one of the things that I like to do is connect with my galactic avatars. Everyone is a multidimensional being. And so one of the things that have been able to do since I was 21 years old, since I had my Kundalini awakening, was actually begin an intuitive telepathic communication, you could say, establishing rather a intuitive telepathic communication line with different levels of myself that exist in higher realities. And that is pretty much the main way in which I receive all of this cosmic information. A lot of people ask me like, how do you know this stuff? And that's how I do it. I get transmissions. I'm also very connected with Commander Valley and Thor. And Commander Valiant Thor worked with Eisenhower in the late 50s, early 60s to establish the Positive Secret Space program that later became known as Solar Warden. I'm very also connected to the Galactic Alliance at large. I am very um, close with a lot of the commanders that have been instrumental in the liberation of the Earth. And so, one of the things that I like to do is I like to teach others my techniques. And so, what I did is I developed three different types of ascension classes for beginners, for those that are just getting their feet wet and just want to know exactly the what it takes to go from a 3D level of reality to a 5D level of reality. And by the way, we don't have to wait for the solar flash to go into the 5D Earth. We could already transition into the 5D Earth, which is already existing here, but on a different layer of the Earth. They call them dimensions. And all we have to do is just shift our frequency. And it's as simple as that. So I teach basic level ascension, and I also teach intermediate, where I go deeper into connecting into the quantum field, accessing parallel alternative realities in order to quantum shift reality at will. I teach people how to activate the star tetrahedron, which is the Merkaba, the light body. And then I also teach a very advanced course where I actually teach my students how to activate the higher chakras, which, by the way, we have 15 chakras, not 12. We have 15 guys. We do have three more chakras that actually extend into the realms of eternity. And so, for those that are ready to embody their cosmic self, which is everything that they are beyond their oversoul, by the way. That's the third class for those people that are really advanced. But what I also do is I teach cosmic and galactic history. And that is actually my specialty. I, as a cosmic analyst and as an ambassador, one of the things that I'm able to do is access intergalactic and galactic records at will. So whenever there is something going on, not only within our sector, but within our galaxy, universe, or other universes, I'm able to access that information, and then I'm able to, be transmitted via verbatim, because it's very hard to say that again. Oh, okay. I thought somebody asked me a question. So it's very hard to translate some of this higher information because a lot of it comes to me in what I called pictographs. I'm very right-brained. So what I have to do is I have to translate the pictograph into ways of explaining it using the human language. And one of the things that am here to do is to remind all the volunteers that we all took an oath, whether we remembered or not. We all took an oath to come here at this time and help the Earth reach her original status, which was the fifth dimension. And I'm also very excited about my presentation coming up in 2 weekends, right, at the Conscious Life Expo, maybe 3 weekends. I don't know. My timing is off, but on the 21st, I will be in the rabbit hole room on a Saturday, breaking down the human design with new cosmic intel. And most importantly, I'm going to be teaching people how to activate superhuman abilities. I'm going to be teaching some techniques and, of course, breaking down some high level cosmic information that will remind people about their divinity, and most importantly, of this technology that is laying dormant within us that has the ability to access unlimited power if we just learn how to turn it on. We're only using 3% of our full genetic material. Well, I've come to understand and discovered that the other 97% is untapped potential. And so that's where our superpowers lie. And I'm also going to be speaking all of this in terms of like the ancient prophecies that were left out of the history books, but of course preserved within the records of the secret societies. And a lot of these prophecies do talk about a time where a new branch, or rather a new set of gods and goddesses and heroes would emerge to usher in a golden age. And I do believe that they were referring to our time. So, it's a very exciting time to be alive. Um, and yeah, I'm excited about what's going to be happening on the earth within the next few years. People talk about this bifurcation of timeline, and the splitting of the worlds is already happening. And in order to secure your spot in the what they call the organic ascending timeline, you have to match that frequency. So it's not very hard. And so, there's so many things that we could discuss. I don't know if you guys have any more questions for me, but yeah, I'm here to answer some questions. Oh, and I'm also working on a new, I don't want to call it a new theory, but I've written 2 books already, and I'm working on 2 other books. One of them is called Cosmic Destiny, and in this book, I totally introduce a whole new origin of the species, and also the idea of the extra tempestrial ideology. And I know that this is a word that not a lot of people have heard about, but the extra tempestrial model of reality states that all extraterrestrials, all interdimensionals, are actually us from the future. Yeah, they're actually us from the future. So that's how interconnected our cosmos is. When we channel, when we connect to extraterrestrial beings, we're actually connecting to different versions of ourselves that are still operating on motherships, or that are still operating on higher dimensional avatars that are perhaps not as mortal as this one. And to give you guys an example, Three Eye Atlas has been all over the internet, all over the news for the last, what, 4 to 5 months. the biggest topic in the last few months. And little did people know that 3i Atlas is actually us from a point in the future, 200,000 years from now, when we evolve into what is known as the Type 3 galactic civilization. The reason they came back, and this is not their first time, there is actually ample evidence and records in the records, in the hidden records especially, that they have been around six prior times. And when you correlate that with six epochs or the six root races that existed prior to our root race, like the Polarian root race, the Hyperborean, the Lemurian, Atlantis, Camu, which is Egypt, and then ours. So they've been around before, and every time they come around is right around at the end of a long dark age in order to help usher in the next golden age. So this golden age that we are entering is actually known as the seventh golden age of enlightenment. So yeah, everything is existing in cycles. We have dark ages, we have ages of light. And so 3i Atlas is us coming from the future to secure their existence, because what happens here ultimately affects all the positive timelines. And so that's who they were. I know that there were some people that were circulating this idea that they were negative Anunnaki or that they were Dracos here to swipe the star seeds. And I had to just squash that rumor. Nothing happened. They did reach their closest proximity on the 19th of December, and the starseeds are still here. The Dracos didn't swap us. They didn't, abduct us, like some people were saying. And so I was, kind of disappointed that there were people that were putting fear regarding 3i Atlas as here to conquer us, but no, they're not. They were just doing their millennial epical drive-by just to make sure. And again, as they come around at the end of every dark age, just to kind of, as observers, as analysts, to see if we are ready for the next stage of human evolution. And from what I was told, because I do have a coordinate who is operating on that ship, and by the way, yes, it is being piloted, as to why it's now stationed near Jupiter, which has the minds of scientists going cuckoo, cuckoo. Why is it doing that? Like, this defies all the laws of physics. How can a comet just be stationary and docked? You know what I mean? Well, anyways, according to my connection in 3i Atlas, we are ready. We are ready for ascension. We passed the assessment. So they were here on an assessment, just like they did the same routine six prior epochs ago. So I just wanted to throw that out there, guys, that no, we weren't going to be invaded. And for those that are still fearing a possible Project Bluebeam fake alien invasion, the Guardians have returned. The Galactic Alliance will not allow that. So we have nothing to fear, guys. We are steadily on a positive timeline trajectory, and your frequency will determine in which stream of reality you end up when the convergence takes place. Right now, as you guys know, all realities are coexisting from negative to positive within a spectrum, right? But very soon, they're only going to collapse into what I call now a trifurcation. There will be some sort of a neutral middle timeline. Any questions?
Wow, that was great news. Thank you so much.
I can pretty well assure you that really most of our global peace tribers, we are very positive minded, and almost every conversation when 3i Atlas was happening was all upbeat, and the different visions people were having and the different guests we had on, it was all positive visions. But I do have a question for you, since you've got obviously a very specific perceived history of the world and perception. Where do you stand on all the different timelines? How do you, weigh many different wonderful authors, presenters, speakers, all of whom are tapped in their own way? Kind of, and since you're very specific about a pretty different vision of the world than what some people believe, what's your perception about how that all lands? Are we living in many, 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 many timelines? all converging in different ways, or what's your approach to that?
That's a very good question, my friend. Yeah, in that regard, you answered your own questions. We are living in many, many timelines. We have what is known as individual timelines, and then we have collective timelines where we share realities as a collective. But based on this phenomena known as the convergence, where all these timelines collapse or converge. Yeah, pretty much collapse. I guess I said the right word, into only two. Many people talk about the bifurcation, but it was brought to my awareness that due to the fact that the Earth Terrans, not the star seeds, not the old souls that are here, the younger souls that apparently started their evolution from the bottom up, going through the various stages, mineral kingdom, plant, animal, and so on and so forth. Due to the fact that they are not yet fully evolved to enter the fifth dimensional Earth or higher, there will be a fourth de-Earth timeline, which is what I call the neutral timeline. Now, in the fourth timeline, which is what is known as the neutral timeline, these younger souls, which comprise the majority of the Earthlings, as we are only in the less than 1%, I think there's only about 90 million star seeds that are living amongst the Earth Terrans that began coming in the 40s, 50s, right? The first waivers. And so it is believed that in order to give the younger souls an opportunity to understand what fifth dimensional and above living is all about, in terms of unity consciousness, in terms of building and establishing a symbiotic relationship with all living things, even if they seem to be separated, it's going to take them a few hundred years. So in that middle timeline, we, the older souls, are going to have the ability to actually descend and pop into their reality at will, to continue the educational, you could say, curriculum for them into
Yeah.
a higher evolution. And so, yeah, we're going to be able to exist in multiple timelines. But I believe that right now they're all just coexisting simultaneously, as proven through quantum physics superposition.
I love that vision. That's beautiful, beautiful. And do you have any kind of a sense of um, dates? Like when do you see the final collapse happening and this convergence taking place?
Well, based on the secret knowledge that I was able to access from the intergalactic archives, by the way, the Galactic Federation has all the archives. So even when they try to reset history, right? You know how many resets we've undergone, and they try to erase ancient records, burn down libraries like the Alexandrian Library. There are copies within the Galactic Archives. The Galactics always copy those records, including, the late civilization of Tartaria. All of the information regarding Tartaria will be revealed once again to the Earth. But to answer your question, based on the records, it turns out that the Demiurge, also known as Enki, the master geneticist Anunnaki, when he took over the affairs of our world and he created this 3D matrix in order to facilitate a false reality, right? He gave it a time limit. And that time limit actually comes to an end in 2028, give or take, by no later than 2030, I would say. So, in either case, by 2028, there will be a collapsing of this reality. So that's when everyone's going to have to make a choice if whether they're going to go into the organic Earth reality, which is five-dimensional Earth or above, or be recycled into a technocratic dystopia, which is what Simi Valley and technocrats call the biological um, technology or biological digital convergence, or end up in the middle timeline by virtue of not fully understanding the higher knowledge. So yeah, 2028 is the landmark to answer your question, my friend.
Well,
Or
thank you.
it's the time frame, not the landmark, the time frame.
Right. We're getting close, and I think we all feel it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brandy, do you, before we go to his websites, any questions or what would you like to?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions I want to ask, but I'm going to start with this one. What is the mortal gene?
The immortal gene?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Well, it turns out that not only are we a potpourri or amalgamation of all the different races out there, but one of the things that we Earth humans have that was not given to the other ETs is what is known as the God gene. Now, the God gene is not a gene that is associated with carbon structure or silica structure. It's actually known as pre-matter plasma or prematerial plasma. And so we have that gene in us. And when we activate the pre-material plasma gene, which is far more superior than any silica genetic strand, it actually allows us to exist in any reality within the 15-dimensional time matrix. So, yeah, that is the God gene. And the God gene was actually installed in us, believe it or not, as a defense mechanism in the event that the negative AI, the alien negative AI that's been destroying worlds, galaxies, and universes, in the event that they openly invaded us, then it would actually automatically be triggered and we would have the power of the full central suns combined to actually neutralize and defeat the negative AI. So yeah, we have that in us. So not everyone is going to have access to that. Of course, only the most advanced souls, the oldest of souls, due to the level of responsibility. Because when you access and you activate the God Source gene, you realize you're going to have the power of 10 trillion suns. You're going to be able to manipulate reality, control gravity, magnetism, fly, teleport, stop reality where everyone's like this, just like as portrayed in the movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson when she went to 100% of her capacity. So yeah, that's just to give you guys a glimpse of what life is like when you activate the God gene. And then also you could materialize any form you want. You could dematerialize and be one with all reality. So it's an amazing ability. But again, only a few are going to be able to reach that level of power within our lifetime because it is you have to be very wise and you have to have a very high ethical sense of morality if you're going to activate that much power because you have literally the ability to either destroy the multiverse or to protect it when you activate the God gene.
Wow. Thank
Mhm.
you.
You're welcome.
Um, no, quickly, because I think, um, anyways, another question I have is about Greenland and why does the US really want it now?
That's a very good question, Brandy. Well, believe it or not, Greenland houses one of the most ancient artifacts that is now uh, being unveiled due to the melting of the ice caps, and that is a huge mothership. I don't know if you guys had a chance to dig into that, but that mothership is actually a Hyperborean mothership that was left behind by the second advanced civilization, or what the secret knowledge calls the second root race. And the technology that is associated with the Hyperborean mothership is about 200,000 years ahead of us. So it has to be recuperated by the Alliance, not the Cabal. So that's the reason why the Alliance is so obsessed with you could say, owning and having access to that land. Not to mention, it is also the North Arctic gate for the inner Earth societies. I'm sure you guys all know that the Earth is hollowed, that the Argarthians, the Shambhalans, the Talosians, and over 113 civilizations exist as I speak within the Hollow Earth. So one of the main gates to access the Hollow Earth is in the Northern Arctic, underneath the ice. And on top of all that, there are some ancient records that are going to be revealing humanity's prehistory, all the history that was erased by those that had reset it over and over and over. Well, our true cosmic history, how we all originated in Lyra and beyond, will be revealed in one of those vaults that they call the Ether Vault. Now, the Ether Vault was a vault that even the Thule, or may I say the Vril Society, which was the secret German society that established contact with the Aldebarans, when eventually the Germans developed the alien tech, they wanted to have access to that. And the only reason they failed to access the Ether Vault was because their vibration wasn't a match. It is only activated through frequency. And guess who has those frequencies? People like us, the righteous.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah. Not to mention, it's got 4 trillion in assets. It's about 4 trillion in natural resources, lithium, and lithium is very unique, but also very important in the build out of what they call the Golden Dome. And the Golden Dome is something that the Alliance has been trying to create or at least install for the very protection of not only the North American continent, but eventually the entire world. You know, a Golden Dome shield will ultimately protect us not only from third dimensional warfare, such as nuclear weapons, intercontinental missiles, but also from radiation and from alien invasions, frequency weapons, and all kinds of weapons, laser weapons. It protects us from everything. So yeah, they're going to start building what is known as the Golden Dome, beginning with America, the American region. And so that's why it is in the works for the alliance to acquire Greenland as the 51st state and ultimately Canada as the 52nd state, if everything goes to plan, to eventually evolve the North American continent into what I called or revealed in my book, Our Cosmic Origin, the Peacock Federation, the North American Federation, in other words.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Uh,
When are his presentations? Do you have when that's happening?
Yeah, we're supposed to evolve when this transition takes place due to again, we're waiting for the sun to do its thing. All of these 200 and so countries are supposed to dissolve into what it is known as 22 federated regions as Earth once again becomes restored to the interstellar galactic community. So, yeah, all of these countries are going to be dissolving as they are all different, you could say, strings of the old guard, which is what they used to call the New World Order. And so, even the New World Order has been dissolved. There will be no one world government controlled by a centralized force. Instead of that, as we go into the positive Earth timeline, uh, the countries are going to all evolve into 22 federated regions. And each federated region is going to have its own infrastructure and its own council. So it's going to be a true republic. And then that will also allow us to operate in coherence with our local star cluster, which is also being run by the different federated regions, or what we call the Federation of Worlds. I'm sorry.
wow. Hmm. Um, so what is the new book that you just launched? What is the name of it?
Well, this is actually, I republished my very first book that I published in 2008 called The Secret Government. The Secret Government is more of a revelation of the secret societies, what I call the two brotherhoods. You have the Luciferian and then you have the Melchizedek Brotherhood, which is to what we call today the Alliance. The Alliance evolved out of the Melchizedek Brotherhood. So, you know, the White Hats, or what we call the good guys, have always been around. They've kind of operated under different guises or just under different organizations throughout history. So it's a brief, not a brief, but a detailed explanation of this war between the two brotherhoods going back to 6,000 years. So that's why I call it the secret government, because it's, everything's being operated through secret societies. But now their time is up, as we go into the golden
The
age.
Revelation.
Yeah, all the secret societies are going to be dissolved. There will be no more secret societies. And just to point out that not all secret societies have been evil. A lot of the ancient and medieval secret societies were actually benevolent, like the Essenes, the community of Qumran. They were secluding themselves from the Roman Empire during the times of Jesus. Jesus was a part of that secret society. Mary Magdalene, John the Revelator, the Essenes, the Therapeutae of Egypt, they were also a positive secret society. And so the original secret societies were created to protect the ancient knowledge, or what we call today the alien tech, which again, you can't really, there is a you can't really distinguish ancient magic from advanced alien tech. It's one and the same. So they were the guardians of that art, of those artifacts, like the Ark of the Covenant, the Staff of Moses, the Ring of Solomon, supernatural stuff, but it was all alien tech. And so they were created to guard all of that stuff all the way up to the present. And so, yeah, so we have positive secret societies, and then we have negative secret societies. The negative secret societies have always been after that tech to use it to manipulate and control, whereas the good secret societies were trying to preserve it until a time when, according to the prophecy, the earth would be ready to once again enter the golden age, and this is what they call the rise of the new Atlantis. And that was the original project we call today America before it was infiltrated by the Bavarian Illuminati, who gave us who gave us corporate USA and of course the deep state. But that was my first book that I actually republished about a year ago. Now, this other book that I've been working on for over 2 years now is going to explain the whole. It's going to take this book, Cosmic Origin, to the next level. But I've also been able to access records regarding what's going to be happening millions of years from now. So I'm going to be revealing that in Cosmic Destiny, and of course, introducing a whole new model of reality that ties into the idea that our origin began in the cosmos or in the higher dimensions. Um, and that is the phenomena that I call the extraterrestrial model of reality, which states that all extraterrestrial life forms were breakaway groups from the original Earth that existed in a higher dimension. So even our Earth has been dropping in frequencies.
Well, since you brought up the books, I'm going to take you to where you can find them, and he's on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, put in Ismael Perez, and that's where you can find his books. And my God, there's so much for us to learn from this incredible man. He's also very generous with his YouTube channel. He's got a very elaborate YouTube channel where you can get a lot of great information and really learn about the extraordinary information that Ismail has access to. And of course, ideally, we're going to see him at the Conscious Life Expo for those of you watching who can make it. And Brandy, what times is he going to be presenting and when?
He is presenting on Saturday at 4 o'clock down in the rabbit hole. And then he'll also be on Deborah Juicy's Ascension panel on Sunday, and that is at noon, from noon to 2.
Beautiful.
How exciting.
The rabbit hole, everybody, it's kind of like where shit like what Ismail is sharing campuses is like, it's the really interesting, and it literally is like, even though it's all at a big hotel, it really is kind of like going
down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole into the chamber. Yeah. So Ismail, I always see you, of course, on Deborah's Ascension panels. So it's great to have you on the show. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you and giving you a hug at the expo.
Likewise. Thank you, brother.
Take care. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow. Well, those are our live presenters, but we still have two amazing video pre-records that we did, one with Billy and one with
Elizabeth April.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long night.
It's been a long night, and there's going to be more. So, but we're going to take a brief little break, Brandy. We always do a prayer time on the show now. And so I'm going to turn it over to Desiree and Diara, who always lead our prayer time. And Omar is going to play a little bit of underscoring music just to kind of give us an opportunity to integrate everything we learned from Ismael and all the presenters that we've seen tonight, and then get ready for Billy Carson and Elizabeth April. So, ladies, I'm going to turn it over to you while I drink some water.
It's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to weave it all together in this powerful cauldron. And so this image came through back at the beginning of our show tonight when Deborah was speaking. And I'm going to give us the image in a moment. First, I want to take us back into the energy field of the God gene. When Ishmael was speaking of this capacity beyond our imagination, I could feel us all going, yes, yes, yes. And so keeping that as our circle, taking this image of this giant agitation machine as like a washing machine. And we're each going to hold the image of this beautiful cauldron. And inside this cauldron, we're going to put in our heart's desires, prayers, anything that we want healed for ourselves, others. And so we're taking this beautiful energy of the God gene and adding to it the cosmic moon glow that Wendy brought in for us. And then Dr. Clint Joy, the ambassador of joy, and Andrea and her beautiful connection between the worlds and her mediumship. And then Deborah's healing journey. But if we can imagine the agitator beginning to spin, and agitation is not always something negative, it can be something beautiful. As we put in the middle all that we wish to rinse, to release, to spin down, taking out anything from our bodies, anything from our minds and hearts that we want transmuted and optimized. Our prayers for the world, nothing too big, nothing too small. We're going to put it in, begin to spin, and then at the end we'll come back in and drain it down to the light.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Taking a nice big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Hear our prayers. Open our hearts. Let us receive. Raise higher. Grounding that energy in. Bringing in more energy.
Bring it down if it's moving too fast and spinning the other way. Beautiful. Yes, I'm putting the prayers in the chat and then we'll put them in. Feeling that energy. Amplifying. So much gratitude, so much grace here. You know it's good.
Well, as always, because we are the Global Peace Tribe, we hold the vision and we pray for peace in the world. And remember that peace begins in our own lives. So may we be the change we seek to see in the world. Let's treat everyone with kindness, even people that repulse us, whose choices offend us. Let's still see the divinity. We can remember our problem is with their choices and the behavior, not with who they are as a being, and seeing the divinity in all is how we create peace in the world. Most of all, be gentle with ourselves. So no more shooting on yourselves, right? Um, let's all just really recognize that we all are always doing the best that we can, given all the dynamics going on in our lives in this moment. And so much love for each and every one of you. And we still have a lot of show left. Thank you, Omashar, for the underscoring. And thank you, as always, Diara and Desiree. And I'm going to roll right into Elizabeth April, who's going to be at the Expo. I got to hang out with her last year and hoping she'll hang out with us again this year, some of the Global Peace Tribers that are there. And here's what she had to say when I talked to her a couple of weeks ago about the Whole Life Expo, or about the Conscious Life Expo. Well, the biggest reason to come to the Conscious Life Expo is to see people in person like Elizabeth April. In fact, the last time I saw you was at last year's Expo.
Yep.
And how long have you been going, and what's the Expo mean to you, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I think this will be, I want to say maybe my fourth year now. And it is my only in-person event all year. This year's a little bit different because I've got a book tour, so I'm doing that as well. But it's going to be great because I'll have a ton of my new book there. So I'll be doing a lot of book signings. I'm doing a book signing on Friday, and then I think I'm doing two book signings on Saturday, especially after my workshop. And I mean, I always say that the Conscious Life Expo is like a mini Sedona, right? Like, I just find that I go there and you just always end up at the right place at the right time talking to a random person about the right thing. And it's just like I'm buzzing afterwards. Actually, I had to stop eating only vegan food while I was there because it took me so long to come back in my body after like a 3-day event because the vibration is just so incredibly high. Um, so it feels like a soul gathering. Like it literally feels like family. Anyone who goes there will tell you the same thing that you can go there as an individual, like a solo person and just like meet soul family. And then you go back every year and you meet the same soul family, you know? So it means everything. Like it gives me that light, it gives me that spark, it gives me that motivation for the rest of the year until I come back to the Conscious Life Expo. So truly, it just means so much to me. It does. And so this year, I'm going to be doing a couple of different things. Obviously, the book signing with the brand new book, which I'm so excited about. So I will have a lot of books that I'm selling there. So you don't have to kind of pre-order. You can, though, if you want, and then bring it and I'll sign it on the spot and we'll take a picture and have a nice long hug, as always. And then I'm doing my own panel. I'm so pumped about this. So I will be a panel moderator this year. I got to choose the individuals as well that I wanted on my panel. So we're going to be talking all about the new Earth frequency, star seeds, like just pretty much everything. I'm going to have individual questions for each panelist to really activate their highest vibration and their like deepest knowledge. So I'm excited about that. It'll be quite a variety.
Who are some of the panelists that you chose?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm really bad with names. I have all the faces. You're gonna have to link to the panel to this discussion. But yeah, you can see all the people there. But yeah, and then on top of that, I will be doing my workshop as per usual. And my workshop is all about transforming and anchoring into the fifth dimension. So just like I was kind of mentioning earlier in our other chat that we just had, um, 2026, it's like there have been some massive timeline shifts. And finally, for the first time in years, we are anchoring into not only just the highest timeline, but we're able to maintain and sustain that highest timeline. So I'm going to give people really realistic advice on how to literally live your matrix life, pay your bills in the highest possible timeline, and also how to deal with people who are not necessarily in the same timeline. So it's going to be really practical stuff for star seeds in how to navigate 2026 this year and beyond. So I'm really excited about that workshop. And then, like I said, a bunch of book signings and I'll be walking around, taking a bunch of photos and all of that great stuff. So I'll be there pretty much all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then I'll probably be driving and heading home Sunday.
Fantastic. Back to Nevada.
Yep, back to Nevada. Yeah.
To Nevada. Well, thank you so much for your connection to the Expo. You know, I'm an old timer, I'm an OG. And so the different iterations back when it was Whole Life Expo and the different names. But have you noticed the last 2 years, there seems to be a big influx of new people?
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. Like not just like new participants, right? Like coming in, but new teachers, let's call them.
Yeah.
And you know, it's because I've been doing the, I mean, I'm only 33, but I have been doing this, not just at the Conscious Life Expo, but like I've been speaking on stage at conferences since I was 18, 19 years old. And it's just wild. Like I never thought I would see people brand new, just like 3 months ago. Yep, I had a spiritual awakening. I talked to the Arcturian Council, and now I'm receiving messages and relaying those messages. And here I am, you know, at this expo or whatever. And it just really lights me up to see that so many people are stepping in and and receiving the same information, right? You can't get better validation than that. So we've got an insane new influx and young people, not only
Yes.
just like young, but like diverse, you know?
Yeah.
And
A lot of ethnicity, a lot of
yep,
different colors.
yep, age, race, culture, locations all around the world flying in. Like it's wild. And I mean, before I always used to joke about like the UFO I know Conscious Life is like very open, but the UFO alien conferences always just had like old ex-military white dudes. You know, it was just like it was like that was it. And then I come in and I'm like this young bubbly girl, and it's like they're like, "What are you doing here?" And now we have, you know, now we have that presence. Like now we have other just complete trans channelers and like other like light language activations. It is wild and so exciting and so diverse, and it is the biggest health and wellness conference there is in North America. So highly recommend coming out to that and coming out to the panel and the workshop for sure.
I'll be there, and I know I look forward to seeing you. And a reminder, everybody, you can find all things Elizabeth April at her website, which is elizabethapril.com. And I really want to encourage you, become a member. I have. There's also different membership levels. Her conversations, her remote viewing that she does of all over the world, and her galactic family that you do once a month with the Galactic Council. And it's really, I mean, as you know, I hear feedback from a lot of people because I've got 2 shows a week. And honestly, Elizabeth, what you say resonates at such a high level. I'm always like, oh, it is what it is when I'm listening to you. So thank you for being a clear channel for spirit to flow through. Thank you for giving us some time today, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the expo.
For sure. I'll see you then.
You know, I really want to say that, oh, I still have Desiree and DR here. Bye-bye. It really is true. I listen to a lot of Elizabeth's work. And I mean, I think you all know, you've heard me say before, I believe it's a dream world. All of it's real and none of it's real, depending on kind of the point of view. But I resonate a lot with what Elizabeth has to say. And she's really, as you can tell, she's a lot of fun. So it'll be really fun to meet her at the expo. Brandy, I don't know if you want to come on and share anything about Billy Carson before I play the pre-record. Anything you want to add about Elizabeth?
Well, I am excited about her panel that she's going to be doing. Actually, I'll give you some of the names that are going to be on it.
I know, I felt it was a cute moment when I asked her, and you just see like, oh my God.
She's like, ah, yes. So Sasha Stone will be on it. Wendy Kennedy, Adam Apollo, Althea Avanzo, Megan Solar Glow, and Reset Vibes.
Wow. Um, so those people I know well, Sasha Stone and Risa Vibes have been on the show quite a bit. But there's some new people there too that I haven't heard of before. So, and that's always kind of what happens at the expo. You see the people that you know that you really have been impressed with before, but then there's always new people. It's like, oh wow, that's an interesting person, or that's an interesting take on things.
Yeah, yeah. And then, you know, Billy Carson, so we kind of already did the intro, right, in the pre filming of it. But you know, besides his talk that he's going to be doing on Sunday, let's see, I still have the same time. But he's also going to be on a couple of panels that's very interesting and going to be along with Robert Edward Grant. So they should have some really interesting conversations on that. So one of them is secret technology that is going to be on do I have it on Friday at 5:30, and then also something is coming that's going to be on Sunday at 5, and that's going to be a very interesting panel as well. So yeah.
You know, Brandy and I did this pre-record with Billy Carson last week. I was so impressed. I immediately went out and ordered on Amazon his book, Manifestation Codes. Yeah, it's funny how the black kind of goes away, but it's actually called Manifestation Codes.
Oh, wow, you got it already.
Yeah, Amazon, you know, Amazon's got it so fast. You order and 20 minutes later, they knock on the door. It's
right.
Getting these days. But yeah, I ordered it. I've been reading it. It's excellent. I mean, this guy, I think some of you know Billy Carson, but for those of you who don't, he is, as you're about to hear, he's got his finger in a lot of very interesting pies.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's a genius, you know. He's one of those like a gate kid, you know, that he was, I mean, graduated high school at 12. Right?
I didn't know that part. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, he graduated high school at 12.
Wow. Well, he also is ageless. God knows he could be anywhere from 30 to 50. You know, I no clue what his age is, but what he's accomplished and what he's doing is extraordinary. So, all right, we should get to the video. Anything you want to mention beforehand?
No, I think it's amazing everything that he shares in this video, and it makes you really excited to come see him live at Conscious Life Expo.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. So get ready to meet an extraordinary person, and Brandy and I will see you on the other side.
Yeah. Well, Billy, we're so excited to have Billy Carson here with us today. He is the creator of Forbidden Knowledge, Inc. He is a best-selling author of 6 books, and he is a producer of shows, an entrepreneur, a researcher of ancient civilizations. He owns a multimedia company dedicated to bridging ancient wisdom, science, and modern consciousness. He takes people on amazing trips to Egypt and gives them very interesting experiences. And he's doing many other things that we are really excited to learn more about, asking him some questions on some other interesting things that he has been working on. So welcome, Billy, for joining us.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I appreciate it.
Hey, Billy, let's just start right off. Why do you think this knowledge is forbidden? That's a strong word.
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
Well, the fact that the knowledge is forbidden means that it's not that the knowledge is not accessible, but for so many eons, advanced knowledge or higher levels of knowledge have been restricted for a chosen few. If you go back in ancient times, ancient texts, there was always this hierarchy, and the people at the top of the apex of the pyramid of knowledge always had the most and they hoarded it. And then there would be a level beneath them that would give a little bit more, but not all of it. And then would be a level beneath that. Typically, that would be the working class person, typically even a lot of slaves. I mean, in ancient times, in most indigenous cultures, especially like even in ancient Egypt, you'd have to walk around naked if you were poor to make sure you weren't stealing from the pharaohs. So there was this hierarchy there, right? And at the highest level, you had the language of light. At the lowest level, you had basic Egyptian. So it's now you fast forward into the future. Here we are today, and again, there are things going on within political offices, congressmen, senators, and so forth that they know about that's coming down the pipeline. They have advanced foreknowledge of it, and we can't get access to it until it's usually too late. And we're always responding to something that's happening. They're always ahead of the game and able to make decisions before the situation unfolds. And this is why they've made so much money in the stock markets and everything else. So it's like knowledge, and even in ancient civilizations, there's a small group of people keeping it tied up and suppressed at the highest levels, just so that they can maintain a status quo and keep the people out here lacking knowledge of self, lacking the ability to realize how powerful we individually, truthfully are, and how powerful we are collaborating together. And they use divide and conquer tactics to keep us apart. So we're always fighting each other instead of working on creating solutions for the problems.
That's a beautiful example of past and present. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
What's an example that you feel comfortable giving of something that you perceive is coming down the pipeline soon that we, should be responding for and getting ready for?
Oh, well, that's going to be, I had talked about on Regina Meredith's show. Regina Meredith's show was Open Minds 2018. She asked me a question. She said, AI is up and coming. What do you think about this up and coming AI? And I said, well, it's coming. It's going to be here very soon. And it's going to bring us a lot of great things, great advancements in health and longevity and other things in small business, maybe even large business. But I said, there's going to come a time where at least 1 million people will be laid off in a year. And it just happened in 2025. So from 2018 to 2025, we saw that happen. And so what's coming now down the pipeline is AI is advancing into something called AGI, and that's artificial general intelligence. And also right beyond that is ASI, artificial superintelligence. Now, what's happening is this is creating something like a potential economic contraction, because we're going to have this cycle, almost like the Yuga cycle, where we have AI and automation coming in and taking away jobs. So we have all the people that were working here and buying goods, services, and products now losing their jobs. And then we have people, over here that would love to buy products and services, but don't have any income to buy the extended or excessive amount of products and services now being created by AI and automation. And then on the lower left corner of the circle, we have an economic contraction, which is a complete economic collapse unless they give some type of a basic income to every single person, right? And that will just be more like a superficial Social Security type of a check. So what will happen is they're going to create this rift with the extremely rich and the extremely poor. And there will be nothing in the middle. That's being wiped out and cleared out now as we speak. And what's going to happen is by 2030, whoever hasn't made or manifested a significant amount of abundance so that they can learn how to turn income into employees, turn dollars into employees, and invest in other things and to continue to expand through this new economic system, they're not going to be able to make it to those levels. By 2030, if you're not there, it's going to be very difficult, not impossible, but very difficult to get to the higher levels of income. It'll be a lot more, there will be a lot more people in the lower levels. People who were in the mid-level will drop to the lower levels. It's going to take a lot of advance and forward thinking to be able to make that move. And that requires a person to pivot, understanding that what I'm involved in now is going to change and evolve and most likely won't even exist in the format that it exists today. And that's only going to take about 3 to 5 years before this transformation happens. So imagine we're on this superhighway, right? People getting on the superhighway now are going to be able to exit before the AI and automation completely evolve what we know as economics. And the people that start getting on around 2027, 2028, 2030, they're going to hit a traffic jam. And so I built an app called keepworking.ai. It's a free app. It works on any website. Keepworking.ai. It looks like a website, but it's really an app. And you can type in whatever field of work you're in. It will tell you low risk, medium risk, or high risk for getting taken over by AI and automation. And then we'll give you two pivots. It will show you two different things that you can do within that same genre of work, but utilizing AI and automation. And then it gives you an executable business plan for both. You can just tap on it. It will export it into Word or PDF with a step-by-step instruction and a business model and a full business plan, and it doesn't cost you any money. And that way I'm bringing solutions to problems.
Wow, that is amazing solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. That's I'm actually pulling that up as we talk.
Very
yeah.
Remind people again, it's keepworking.ai, and I
Yeah.
put up, here it is. It's an app, future
Yeah.
proof your career. So anybody that really wants to check it out, go to keepworking.ai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Billy.
No problem.
I also saw that you did a video, I think, on your podcast about having multiple streams of income, that is really required right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, long gone are the days of having one stream of income. You know, I fell victim to having that mindset. Prior to the 2008 real estate collapse, I was doing very good in email marketing and a marketing campaign, marketing company, TV ads, the whole works. And I had built up a lot of revenue, and then I actually ended up exiting that company in a sale. Company got acquired and eventually sold. And I did a great exit. I walked away with millions of dollars. And then I said, what can I do next? And so I started pouring money into real estate, pre-construction homes, flips, and land. And at one point, I had over 400 properties across the United States. I didn't see this one. I did not see that bubble coming. I did not see that one. And it hit me hard at first, but at least I still had a lot of land. And so I was still moving the land, and that was helping to make up for the difference. And then all of a sudden, the only bank allowed to lend on land countrywide, eventually they got shut down by the feds, and then there was no more money for land. So I took a big hit. I didn't go back to zero, but I lost a lot. I had to start cutting back. I couldn't spend as much money. I told my kids, you can't, my girls, women, I said, girl, y'all can't go to the mall every weekend. I got rid of some of my vehicles. I really had to cut back.
Yeah.
I didn't lose everything, but I really had to make a major decision. And that taught me a big lesson. One stream of income, all my eggs in one basket, very dangerous. No matter what you think or how strong you think an industry is or an economy is or a particular area of earning revenue is. And from there, I started diversifying. So what I do is I create synergistic companies and programs that work together, but also could function individually. And so that when one is making money, another one might not be doing as well, or something might even be almost like seasonal, or could be affected by a tweet from the president. You just never know. At least I have money coming in, at least from 3 or 4 places on a consistent basis every month at a high level. And sometimes they alternate. This one is stronger than this one, and sometimes this one is stronger than this one. But overall, revenue never stops flowing. And so multiple streams of income, very, very important.
Yeah.
Of course, we're, collaborating with the Conscious Life Expo, and this is kind of our preview show that we do every year.
Yeah.
What are you going to be presenting at the Expo this year?
I'll be talking about the fractal holographic nature of the universe. I'll be tying that to ancient civilizations, and how ancient civilizations viewed the universe as a whole, what they knew about it, how they understood that we're living in this illusory world and that we're tied or tethered to higher dimensions. Our true self is in higher dimensions. And I'll be talking and really breaking down the science behind the creation method of a fractal holographic matrix and what it really means for humanity. It doesn't take away from us being spiritual beings or being real. It's just explaining the science behind the actual process of this creation. And I'll also be talking about how to utilize this knowledge to manifest and how to tap into this quantum field that now has finally been made known public in quantum theory. Just about maybe now 7 or 8 months, they finally came forward even talking about the quantum mirror that they were able to develop, and they're able to send photons into it and get photons reflected back, but with different bytes of data on them. So they're thinking that these photons are coming from the future. But I'll be teaching a lot of the science, but also the manifesting, how you see behind the veil and how you manifest your reality. How do you manifest abundance? How do you become the architect of your own life? And so I'll be combining those two things together.
Oh yeah, the manifestation one, is that the post conference?
The post conference, actually, I believe that's going to be separate. The post conference is going to be about the underground labyrinths of ancient civilizations and sites around the world, particularly right now, of course, focusing in on Egypt. But I'll be talking about some underground labyrinths that are there and some ones that I've been in that haven't been talked about, and showing some of my footage from there as well. And I'll be showing and explaining where they lead to, how vast they are, and the network of these places, and talking about potential purposes, indigenous stories from around the world that have all experienced a similar event, all the way from the North Americas to South Americas, all the way across Egypt to Turkey and beyond, how these beings in some way came and influenced people underground. And most likely, these people, these beings, helped influence them to also construct or advise them or even did it themselves, how to construct these vast underground cities.
Wow. And do you take people to see some of these things on your tours to Egypt?
Oh yeah, we take them and we take them beneath the bedrock. We have VIP access. So when we go to Egypt, we don't just do the normal tourist thing. Matter of fact, when we show up at sites, the tourists actually have to leave. There's no tourists. It's just the Forbidden Knowledge family. We get keys to steel doors and cages that are locked that lead to shafts that go 65, 70 meters beneath the bedrock into subterranean chambers. We go into areas underground that are so vast and so wide that archaeologists call them avenues. There's one particular area where you can turn on a high power laser pen and it goes 300 meters and you can't see the end. And some of these tunnels lead all the way from Giza all the way to the ziggurat of Ur in Iraq, hundreds of miles away. So we take them underground to these areas, underground labyrinths. We take them into temples, underground crypts, sealed doors that have been closed sometimes 40, 50 years. One time I took somebody into a door that was closed for 100 years with ancient relics and artifacts and special stones inside. We take them to Elephantine Island and take them underneath a temple where the location of the Ark of the Covenant actually sat on top of a pedestal. And you see the anti-energetic stones that reflect the energy from the Ark inside the facility all around you, protecting the energy signature of the Ark. And in Germany, still they're digging right now they moved it to a different location on the same island. And Germany's been digging for 21 years, 7 days a week, by the way, paying the government every single day, looking for that other Ark that's hidden there on the island as well. But it's a great tour. Then Turkey is incredible. I take people to Derinkuyu. It holds up to, or in its heyday, would hold up to 30,000 people underground. And there's a mystery and a secret, which I'll be talking about in my post-conference, showing that Derinkuyu is not the only area there in Turkey and ancient Mesopotamia. It's just one of hundreds that exist in Turkey, and they're all interlinked with an underground, at the deepest level, an underground tunnel. So it's a network of these underground cities like Derinkuyu. Derinkuyu is just one of hundreds of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like you and Robert Edward Grant are going to have a great discussion on a couple of the panels that you're on at Conscious
Yeah.
Expo too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. My good friend Robert. I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is something is coming, and secret technology that you both will be on those panels as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
let's take a look at this is just a little homeopathic dose of what Billy's offering, but he's got a lot to share. So let's start by going to his primary website, which is forbiddenknowledge.com. Now, notice that it's the number 4biddenknowledge.com. And he's got an academy. So you click right away, and that takes you to the academy. And tell us a little bit about the academy. Who's your demographics, who comes in, and what do you provide?
Great, thank you. Yeah, the Academy has been awesome. We have now 1,700 leaders in the Academy. I don't call them students. We're all leaders. We build leaders. And they're everyone from young men and women in their late teens up until we have people that are 84, 85 years old in there. So we have a vast range of people at vast and varying different levels of income. Some are very wealthy, some are just barely making it. It's really about self-improvement, which self-improvement is the key, because if you look at the ancient principles of the Hermetics, we're talking about as within, so without. So as we change and evolve internally, the external world around us will also evolve and change, no matter what level you're at. So you can manifest abundance at any level, because abundance doesn't mean billions of dollars. What abundance actually means is all your needs are met when they need to be met. There's no stress, there's no worry. You're manifesting as you go. And we teach the internal work, the inner work. And along with that, we then give what needs to be there to handle abundance as it approaches you, because you attract everything. Most people will attract abundance, but then because they don't have financial literacy, they can't sustain it. And when you can't sustain it because of ignorance, you will actually just lose it. So what happens is, sometimes people win a lottery. I think 90% of people that win the lottery are broke within the first 2 years. Why is that? They don't want to be broke. They just don't have financial literacy. And because they don't have financial literacy and also boundaries, they end up giving most of it away and blowing the rest of it. So we teach financial literacy. I wrote a book called Woke Doesn't Mean Broke, and it's not the political woke, it's the consciousness woke. It's 688 pages. It's a financial Bible. And this book breaks down in references every single aspect of financial literacy. And so I teach that hands-on within the academy as well. And so that people get a good understanding of how to manage money, different aspects of it. What are wills? What are trusts? What is not just regular banking, but a lot of people don't know about private banking, and they don't know about nonprofits. They don't know about what types of corporations they should and shouldn't file, and for what reasons and what purposes. And there's just so much. Whole life insurance policies, why whole life versus term life, all these things are inside there. So we give them the financial literacy, and we give them a lot of exercises and classes in ancient wisdom, metaphysics, spirituality, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. It's all wrapped into one. We're even teaching now AI, automation. I provide apps in there that are accessible by the people within the academy that help improve their lives in various different ways. And everyone's really vibing. And then I do live Q&As, and I answer all their questions. Every week we give away $100 cash to a student that just happens to show up to one of the live mentoring sessions. And we bring on millionaire and billionaires that are conscious to come in and talk and show them where they came from. We had a woman that was a janitor, just her own self-made janitor, cleaning toilets basically with her kids there because she couldn't afford daycare, till she got manifested a life of earning over $600 million, and how she got there along the way without giving up herself or losing any part of herself, but only becoming a better version of herself. And now her son just became a billionaire. He's 32 years old. So these are the kinds of people I bring in to influence and advise and mentor, within the group too.
Oh, it's fantastic. And I'm going to go back to that page for a moment. So I see that you've got a free trial that you offer.
I think I'm going to buy a couple of memberships for the people I love. I mean, that sounds like an awesome gift to give the people you love.
Yeah, it's a great gift. They can start for free. There's a free trial, 7-day free trial. They can let me mentor them for 7 days. They can go through my courses and classes. I have over 150 hours of teaching in there, classes, courses, homework, there's assignments, there's everything. There's great testimonials there that people can click on and read, by the way. And if they don't like it within 7 days, they don't think it's worth it, they can just cancel. They haven't paid a dime.
And speaking of manifesting, I want to just acknowledge your new book, The Manifestation Codes. It's now your 6th best-selling book.
Yes.
You can find all of Billy's books on Amazon. And tell us, this just came out, 2 months ago, November of 2025. Tell us a little bit about the manifestation codes.
Yeah, the manifestation codes are primarily centered around 2 formulas that I really wholeheartedly believe in, that I've been utilizing most of my life once I discovered the power of manifesting. And it really started when I was a little kid living down in Miami, Florida. I didn't have any money for the ice cream truck, and I just wanted to buy some bubble gum, some bazooka bubble gum, to read the little comic strip on the inside of the wrapper. And living in abject poverty, I didn't even have 3 pennies to get 1 piece of gum. And so I remember saying to myself, what can I do to, get some money? and I'm only 7 years old. And I realized I don't even play with toys at the time. So I took all my toys and I went door to door with a little milk crate. And I was asking for donations to the neighborhood, to the parents in my neighborhood for toys. I just squared one block. Started with one house and went house to house till I got back to where I started. By the time I got back to where I started, I had $13 in my hand. And I realized then something miraculous happened. And I actually said out loud, it's me that's going to save me. I realized it in that moment. That was my epiphany moment in my life.
Wow.
Later on, I realized that I had a conscious thought. I took multiplied action because the action first was I went into the house and I gathered the toys. Then I had to put them in the crate. Then I had to go and get the courage to break my mom's rules by leaving the front yard and go door to door asking for donations. So I had to multiply that action. And once I multiplied the action, I had a manifestation. So the formula that I came up with in trademark is CT multiplied by A equals M. Conscious thought multiplied by action equals manifestation. And that's a primary teaching within there. But also I incorporated Nikola Tesla's 369 theorem to the book and within the chapters themselves. So as you're reading and learning and doing the exercises that I give you in the book, because the book has homework and everything in it, then you're activating the 369 because I did it in a cycle of 369 following Nikola Tesla's system. So it's both those formulas working together and people are getting miraculous and amazing results from that book.
Wow.
Amazing. There's so many things that you offer, and I'm imagining after what you shared about your trips, people are going to want to know about that. So if you go back to forbiddenknowledge.com and click upcoming tours, and there you go. I see that you've got tours to Egypt and Turkey all scheduled. July and October of 2026 are the next ones. And if you click there, of course, that's where we can learn all about it, because, man, what you were sharing about being able to go underground into those places sounds absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. People love it. We've got the greatest tours. Every year we have a private party. So we'll go rent out an entire facility. One year was Karnak Temple. One year was Hebjetsit Temple. This year we're going to do the Sphinx and Giza and the pyramids. So we'll rent the whole thing out. Nobody will be allowed to come in or out. It'll just be the Forbidden Knowledge family. Red carpet, stage, entertainment, band, imported chefs, food cooked fresh right there. It'll be a great dinner outside underneath the stars. It'll be another amazing tour. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for sharing all this amazing wisdom, all that you're doing. Brandy, any last thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap up?
I have one question that I've been wanting to ask you. I've noticed that you have started a first-class space agency, and I was wondering, I wanted to know more about that.
That's a good question. So what I did recently was I just rolled, and a press release is actually coming out next week. I rolled my first-class space agency into the Forbidden Knowledge company now. It's my tech company. I started it years ago. It got a little bit held up when the global pandemic hit us because actually my engineer and physicist were from another country, and they both had to go back to go under the lockdown situation. So that delayed it a little bit, but I've recently cranked it back up within the last year. And I just received my very first patent pending on some new technology that is space age. Now, the space agency itself isn't about launching rockets into space. There are probably, I don't know, maybe close to 400 space agencies around the world. So they provide product, services, research and development, radiation hardened computer circuit boards, and all these different types of things that SpaceX or another European space agency might need, or products and services or technologies that could eventually make it into space for future space exploration. So space agency doesn't mean you're always launching rockets into space. Just want to clarify that. The second thing is my technology is it's called the 4BK BioKey. And this technology is really space age, and it's for space, but also as many things that are developed for future of space travel also have a very positive effect on people on the ground. And so this technology, it's about the size of this phone, but it's got a rounded back and it has a mouthpiece on top, and you blow into it. And it has special types of scanners that they run on molecular biology, and they access the VOCs in the human breath. the volatile compounds, and they actually run those past the sensors. They run it through AI, and it can detect up to 60 biomarkers in the human body, 6 different types of cancers: colorectal, heart, liver, breast, you name it, kidney issues, also prostate issues. It'll tell you if you have onset Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or dementia before you even been diagnosed. It can detect Lou Gehrig's disease before you've been fully diagnosed. It can detect so many illnesses in the body, of course, all respiratory and viral conditions. I would have known that I had pneumonia in Turkey in 2024, which is what sparked the whole research and development into this technology, because I died in 2024 in the hospital with pneumonia. I went to organ shutdown. And when they brought me back, the next day I was just laying in that bed in pain and agony. And I said, I wonder if I had a device in the desert that I could have just breathed into that could have detected I had a bacterial infection in my lungs. And the answer came back, yes. And it took me down a rabbit hole of investigation into over 1,000 peer-reviewed documents and studies on that exact topic. And so I'm just the person that took all that data and all that research and took $100 million worth of research and put it into one device. And that's one of the first brand new devices we have coming out, now that it's patent pending, underneath the tech company.
Wow. So are you moving into the health space now then?
Well, I'll continue. I have about 8 more inventions lined up behind this one. I can't disclose those because I haven't been patent pending or trademarked yet, but
Yeah.
This one has been. So, but yeah, I have a lot of things that are going to enhance mankind coming out, and it's all I'm using AI in the right way. Put it that way.
Seems like you also should be added to our AI panel that we have.
That'd be great. Yeah, if I have
Yeah.
time, if it's within the schedule, I'd definitely love to hop on it.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Billy, I want to thank you so much for your amazing contributions to our awakening world on so many levels that you're contributing. And I also appreciate that you do it with a lot of fun and a lot of joy, and that's a really important part of this too. So thank you, Brandy, for arranging for us to chat with Billy, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Conscious Life Expo.
Thank you. I'll see y'all very soon.
All right.
Bye, thank you.
Wow. I mean, isn't he just an amazing, amazing guy? We'll see if Brandy comes back. Yeah, I mean, I really was that impressed that right away I went out and I bought the book. This isn't just me promoting it. It's me going, I want to learn what that guy knows. You know, and even the story of him as a little kid, you know, like having his epiphany by being whatever it was, 7-year-old entrepreneur, you know, taking advantage, you know, doing what he could. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, he wasn't even old enough to, not even supposed to like leave his yard, you know, and he was out entrepreneuring.
Yeah, absolutely. Carol Craig writes, I totally sold my toys out of my wagon. I was so focused on entrepreneurial activities, and now I'm the opposite. Completely abundant, all needs met, and not all about money. Well, thank you, Carol. And I know, Carol, you're a great teacher who really does a lot. And she went through the itinerary for Egypt, and yes, it does look excellent. And yes, it's pricey, but that's why we buy the book. We buy the book so we can manifest the money to take that. I want to go into those underground tunnels and have those experiences. Don't you, Brandy?
Yeah, yes, I know. If money was not an issue, I definitely would be going with him. There we go. I'll have to get the book.
Well, it is 9:13. This is a late show for a Wednesday night for us, and I'm pretty hungry. But we always close our show with final announcements. And I guess probably the most important final announcement is, once again, how to get to the Conscious Life Expo. So if at all possible, everybody definitely come. It's right at LAX Hilton, so you can fly into LAX Airport and, you know,
Take the shuttle.
Take the shuttle, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll be staying there. Katrina Valancourt's coming with me. And go to consciouslifeexpo.com for all the details. Consciouslifeexpo.com. Discount tickets are available. And as you can see, we just have an amazing, I tell you, the hardest part about the expo is there's always 4 things happening at any given time that you want to go to.
Yeah.
That's the hard.
That is the hardest part. But The great thing is that if you do miss one, if two are happening at the same time, we do sell DVDs of that talk when you're there as well. So
Yes. Yeah, no, that is a great thing. So anything else you'd like to share before we go to Omashar?
No, I hope to meet many of you at Conscious Life Expo this year. It's February 20th through the 23rd, and we have a lot of fun and amazing things happening at the same time, not just speakers, but music and seances and plays and sound baths and qigong teaching and a music stage, free music stage, and on and on and on. There's just so many things going on at Conscious Life Expo, and so we really hope to see you there and meet you there.
And hugging people that we've only seen on little Zooms, right? People say, "Oh my God, Scott, you're tall." It's like, yeah, I'm not that big. Brandy, I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for co-hosting and putting together a great show. And I look forward to collecting a Brandy hug. And thank your roommate or your boyfriend, whoever that was that popped in, for letting us have you 2.5 hours on a Wednesday night. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Take care. See you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, we're going to go straight to Omashar for our closing song.
What more can I be than what I am? Though it's taken some time to clear these clouds from my eyes. So open your heart and dance along. I'm thinking it's time to stop that same old song. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her with my dreaming. I left her with my dreaming. So don't try to hold me to what I was. I've traveled through time to see this day arise. The love that I am is here for you. So open the door and let the sun shine in. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her with my dreaming. La 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 la. I left her with my dreaming. La 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 la. I left her with my dreaming. Ba da da da. us now. We are in love with the world around us, and we will hold her in our arms and lift her with our dreaming.
Wow. Absolutely fantastic. Let me add Lynn here too. I love how many of you are still up and dancing. Those are my global peace drivers. I love you all so much. Good job, Lynn and Leaf and Jerry, and always adore and Eleanor Joy, Diora, Susan, who had a highlight and get to know on Saturday, Lynn, and everybody else watching, Karen S., George, and Brandy is still here. Well, that's fantastic. So I'm going to a review one last time for everybody. And thank you to everybody who stuck around for a wonderful, wonderful show. And let's find a way to get to the Conscious Life Expo. And a big thank you to Omashar for just always opening and closing and making this show so good. Omashar, I love you, brother. Thank you, Brandy. This was fun. And I'm going to go get some dinner. And I look forward to seeing all of you on Saturday night as we travel with portals to ascension and our good buddy Neil Gar.